Hey, my peoples, what's up? I'm sitting here and I figured I would go live and talk to y'all real quick. I've been MIA for a minute. You guys, y'all, let me tell you something. I try to, I'm working on my diet. Oh my gosh. I am working on my diet. I have been trying to, go like, low carb, low sugar. When I tell you I've had withdrawal symptoms like really, really bad, it's not even funny. I'm Bridget Cuckoo. I've had serious withdrawals, like really bad. Cuckoo. So I've suffered, you guys. I had rage. When I tell you getting off sugar feels like getting off crack, it's insane. I had rage. I had frustration. I was depressed. I was sad. I didn't know I was addicted to sugar. I am seriously addicted to sugar. It was really bad. It was really, really bad. But I need to get that under control. I need to get my sugar under control. So if you eat a lot of sugar, if you're addicted to sugar, if you have a lot of sugar, I really encourage you to get that under control because it is not healthy. So I'm slowly, hey Elliot, what's up, Elliot? I am slowly trying to get myself off my sugar addiction. But it really is an addiction. It really, really is an addiction. And I didn't even think it was that serious. I was like, you know what? It's just sugar. It's not that bad. I can come off of it. No, 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 no. It really is that bad. It truly, truly is that bad. It is really that bad. So I hope it gets better. Because when I read online, they call it a keto flu. Like it's part of like if you do keto, you have a period where you go through and you have like it's called a keto flu. Like you're really sad, depressed, you have no energy, you know. But getting yourself off sugar is really hard because everything has sugar in it. Everything has sugar. Everything has sugar. Everything has carbs. Everything has sugar. So being mindful of that, it's really challenging. And if you take a lot of sugar, I really encourage you to reduce the amount of sugar you take because you don't need to be addicted to sugar. Like it's really bad. Anyways, you guys, what's up? So, I was talking to a friend on Instagram. I was like, you know what? Let me come on YouTube real quick and do a video. I haven't been on here because, y'all, it was a lot. Besides my sugar withdrawals of my little sugar addiction over here. But it was a lot, you guys, because, everything going on in the world, like Israel, Palestine, it really was a lot. And you know me. When I don't agree with something, instead of coming over here on YouTube and talking, I just be quiet because I just don't do mainstream. Yeah, definitely. I didn't know it was that bad. My sugar thing was that bad. But usually, if you don't see me, if there's stuff happening in the world that I'm not talking because I don't agree. Like, I just don't agree with the mainstream, right? And YouTube is mainstream. So when you get on YouTube, you always have to say yes, 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 yes to their agenda. Like, whatever mainstream says, when you get on YouTube, you have to agree to everything the mainstream gospel wants you to agree with. I just think that's disgusting and that's disturbing. So the Israel-Palestine conflict, I don't agree. I don't like how Palestinians are being treated, but the way the Western world is, anytime you have something to say, hola, Chloe, when it comes to the Western world, anytime you have something to say about Israel what? Israel, Jewish people, automatically you're anti-Semite. You know what I mean? It's like the trans movement. It's like LGBTQ. As soon as you don't agree with the T, somehow you're a transphobe. You know what I'm saying? Like it's that type of energy. It's like fascism. You don't agree, you're a bad person. You don't agree, it means you hate people. You don't agree, you're a demon. So it's like, yeah, sure, whatever. So it just lets you know that this is not even like, it's not even like, you're not even allowed to think or ask questions. You're just supposed to be brainwashed and be a robot and just think like that. But it don't make no sense because if you think about it, how is it okay for 2 million people, 2 million people to live on a strip of land? How is that okay? How's that even like sanitary? How's that sanitary? You know what I'm saying? How's that sanitary? How's that even okay? 2 million people on a strip of land, a little strip of land. Like imagine if we had to live like that. 2 million people. You know what I mean? They're treated horribly, and the reality about America is anti-Arabs. You know, this country and most Western countries, most European people are Islamophobes. You know, I'm a Christian. You know what I mean? I think I am. But it's like, I don't believe in hating people because they don't believe my faith. I don't think that you're automatically doomed or you should be tortured or abused because you don't believe what I believe in. That's some sick stuff. You know what I mean? I don't understand how people can claim to be people of faith, but they're always so quick to drop bombs on people. I don't understand that. Either you have God or you use nuclear agents. Like, it can't be both. You know what I'm saying? It can't be both. You're either a godly people or you're not. You can't have it both ways. So to me, it's very disturbing. It is very, very disturbing. And when it comes to America, I don't know. You know, a lot of people do not read. So a lot of people don't read. That's like my number one frustration. Like, a lot of people in America, whatever they're told by the media, as long as the same stuff is repeated over and over and over again, people think repetition means something is factual. No, people can repeat a lie 100,000 times. It's still a lie. You know what I mean? And that's why so many people believed in the jab. And now people are dropping left and right. I'm like, think for yourself, think for yourself, think for yourself, think for yourself. Since when do these people care about the well-being of black people? Like, think for yourself. Like, is it really that hard to think? Somebody stole you from Africa. They brought you here. They never gave you medication. They locked you up in these weird places in Ghana, in Senegal for months to stay in your own fecal matter, to stay in your own urine. Then they put you on these ships, 10 million people, 5 million people, 1,000 people on a ship. They brought you to these plantations. They intentionally made sure you didn't have any shoes. They made you work worse than even oxen don't even work this hard. Your entire life, you've been abused by these people, tortured by these people. Now, all of a sudden, they don't want you to die of a disease. Like, seriously? Seriously? You really gonna trust these type of people? You're really gonna trust these type of people? And they tell you, oh no, we have a jab for you. Go ahead and take it. And you run and you put that into your bloodline. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, is it really that easy to be deceived though? But maybe it is. I don't know. But I just don't understand. Somebody's mean to you for 400 years. Somebody tortures you for 400 years. Now you think because they wear a white coat and they've taken some weird oath from some weird Greek person somewhere that now they have your best interest at heart? Do you see how most hospitals are run? Like, please. You're really going to sit here and not believe or not understand that they needed black people to take this thing because we have a better immune system. They needed black people to volunteer. You have to volunteer so that way it takes liability away from them. Like, do you not understand how this stuff works? Their entire medical thing is built on doing experiments on black people to see how black people react to the medication. We've always been their guinea pigs. They needed black people to willingly offer themselves, as the Bible says, as willing sacrifices, so they could see how the black DNA would react to whatever this RNA business is. They needed black people, because if the black people are dying from it, then you have to change. You got to change the structure of the jab. But if black people can do it, if they can sustain it, it means that then they can take it. That's how it always goes. That's why even when you see in Africa, like UNICEF and all these people, they're always giving free vaccines in Africa. You think it's because they really care about African people? No, they need guinea pigs. And they know Africans are very resilient. Africans have a very strong immune system. So you send the vaccines there, do a study, because they're pretty much study. That's not generosity. There is no generosity with these people. There's always a plan. They're not generous people. They're strategic people who think about their survival. And for them to survive, they need to use you and exploit you. Like, I don't know, child, sometimes I just don't get it sometimes, but whatever, that's just me. You know? But people let themselves be so scared. Oh, you're going to be deleted. You're going to be deleted. Okay, if it is what it is, it is what it is. Nobody can stop it, you guys. I mean, that's what the video is today, like the false prophet thing, the title of the video. That's what the video is about. Destiny is real, you guys. Destiny is real. Like, it's already written. Like, I was watching this show on Netflix. It's called The House of Usher. It's like a Halloween special, right? But it's like there's a man, him and his sister. They make a pact with the devil, but she's a female though, with this woman named Verna, right? They pretty much sell their souls because they want to be rich. They want to be rich AF. And Verna tells them, you're going to be rich for 40 years. No one is going to be able to get to you. Like, you can do whatever you want. You will never face legal consequences. But right before you get deleted, all your children, like your entire posterity, they will be deleted with you. Right? And I don't know if these people thought about it, but okay, cool, whatever, let's do it. And I was like, I was watching the whole thing. You got to watch this stuff. It's on Netflix. I was watching this whole thing, you guys. And it's like, it became even more apparent to me. Right? It became even more apparent to me that destiny is real. What is written is written. And the problem is, a lot of people, they don't like what their destiny is supposed to be. Like the guy, instead of becoming super, super rich, he was actually meant to be a poet. But you see, being a poet meant he was going to have to struggle in this life. Like financially, he was not going to have money in this lifetime. So what does he do? What's up? So what does he do? He decides to make things happen his own way. And even though he got what he wanted, but the way he died, you guys, the way his family perished, it is so sad. You're like, you know what? It would have been better to be a poet, you know? But this life, our destinies are written. It is what it is. You can do everything you want to save your life. You can say, oh, I don't want to get the panini, right? So I'm going to run and go get me the shot real quick. You can go get the shot, and on your way back from the shot, you get hit by a car. When it's your time to go, it's your time to go. Nobody can save you because things are written. And then you start thinking about it. Like even this whole thing about, oh, I have to accomplish this. I have to do this, do that. A lot of times you start to recognize like human beings, we're so foolish. We're so foolish. And I think we're foolish because we don't have eternal life. That's number one. We're foolish also because we don't really understand spiritual things. Because I feel like once you understand spiritual things, you'll just make peace with things and recognize like, you know what? I really need to live in the moment. And you have to stop forcing things. Because the more you force things to happen, the more bad things are going to happen. Because you want to have something that you are not meant to have. So then what happens is you enter into these weird agreements with entities. And entities can be human beings too. Like, oh, this doctor promised me he gonna save me from this. This doctor promised me he gonna save me from that. This person said they're gonna flip my money. Oh, this person told me to go sell the drugs. This person told me to go be a sex worker. You are bartering. You're trying to have these weird contracts, these unholy contracts. You're trying to finesse your way into having a blessing that was never meant for your destiny. And you have to learn to make peace with it because destiny is written. And I feel like a lot of people, especially people who claim to be spiritual, they need to teach people how to accept their destiny. People, and a lot more people, I think, would have mental peace, understanding that you were born for a particular type of life. And the sooner you make peace with the type of life you were meant to have, the more you're actually going to be able to enjoy this life and not stress yourself and not make yourself miserable and not be envious of other people, try to compete with other people. Make peace with it. Make peace with what God has called you to do. Make peace with what your gifts are. Some people might never be rich, and that's okay, because the richest riches in the world is not how much money. You know what I mean? No, I'm trying to be serious, Kevin. Like, it's not how much money you have. Kevin, you got to go see that show on Netflix. Like, you guys, I started crying. And you know why I cry, Kevin? Because a lot of the stuff on Hollywood will tell you the truth. It's up to you. People are like, oh, that's just a movie, just a movie. No, it's not a movie. It is real. It happens all the time. People make deals with the devil and they think, oh, I never sold my soul. No, the conversations that you have with yourself, you think you're talking to yourself, but in reality, you're talking to a spirit. And one thing I've recognized watching that show too, like the whole, because I watched it all yesterday. I binge watched and I had to go to sleep. I woke up and I watched it some more. And I really feel like this planet right here, y'all can think I'm crazy, it's okay. But I really feel like the earth we live on, y'all, I don't think we're wanted here. I think the human people, like the human race, I don't think we are desired here. I think whatever spirits, there are spirits, like even they talk about that in the book of Enoch. It's called the House of Usher. It's called the House of Usher. It's an 8-episode series on Netflix. It is crazy. Okay. But I really feel, I don't know how we got here as human beings. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not that smart, but I feel like they were spirits here before us for real, for real. I think they were real entities here before us. And I really feel like they do not want us here. Okay. I feel they don't want us here. Like even when I was thinking about this whole Israel-Palestine thing. Yes, I was very upset. I was upset at Benjamin Netanyahu. I think he's a racist. I think he's a Islamophobe. I think if he could throw a nuclear bomb at those people, he would. But the world is watching. And not just that, he's so close to Palestine. If he threw the bomb, it would come right back at his people. But I don't put it past him to have any kind of biological agent that he's dropping in Palestine. This man is sick. And he was elected by the people of Israel because he has a stern hatred for Arabs. He hates Palestinians. I grew up seeing this man. This is not his first time being prime minister of Israel. I was a kid. After Al Sharon, it was him. This man is known to be hateful towards Arabs. He is known to be hateful towards Palestinians. And that's why they brought him back. Okay? So my thing is, right? At first I was really upset. I ain't gonna lie, I'm still upset. But I feel like also when it comes to all these wars, y'all, like World War I, World War II, the Civil War, I mean, all these wars around the world that we have experienced as humanity, all the wars, all the Holocaust, all these genocides, right? I feel like these spirits who run this place, they hate us so much. They put spirits on us, like they put madness inside of us. They put hatred inside of us, and then we attack each other, and we go so far, we go so low, we go so dark. Like even the people of Israel too, right? Even you see how they're responding to all this Hamas stuff. I think it's possession. I think it's spiritual oppression. The people of Palestine too. I think there's a spiritual oppression over them. So it's like there's this energy. There's this energy that nobody can explain, but it just drives you to want to hurt another human being. It drives you to want to hurt other people. It drives you to do weird things. Will that make sense? Because since we're not wanted here, I feel like those spirits, because we don't see them, they see us. We don't see them, but they definitely see us. They see us. We're not alone on this planet. People looking for UFOs and aliens. They're right among us. Like they're with us right here. You don't have to look far. It's just that they're see-through people. They're more of an energy. You cannot see them, but they have the power to drive us insane. They have the power to make us harm other people. They have the power to make us harm ourselves. And what's the best thing if you don't want a certain type of people on your planet, you drive them crazy so that those people can self-destruct. Like as human beings, as a human race, we are on a path of self-destruction. It's just that we can't explain it. So we hide behind religion, we hide behind gender, we hide behind sexuality, we hide behind how the economy is not doing well. But all of those are just tangible excuses for the human mind. Because it's a wild thing to say to the human mind that you are being spiritually controlled by powers that you cannot see, because your very presence on this earth was never desired. And I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. I hope I'm making sense to y'all. Yeah, I don't think they want us here. You know what I mean? Because I'm telling you, like, it is spiritual oppression. Like, even when I look at Jada Pinkett Smith, you know, the old me, I would have came on YouTube and dragged this old lady. Like, what is wrong with you? But, like, I look at Jada and I start crying for her. Because I said, this woman is under spiritual attack. She is not okay. She's not mentally well. Like, it's like, she's, like, constantly in this, like, just like Brittany Renner. I'm like, how is Jada Pinkett any different than Brittany Renner? Hey, Susan. Right? Always looking to expose herself to public ridicule. It's like she needs to feel pain. It's like if Jada does not have pain in her life, if she doesn't have chaos in her life, I don't think she feels like she is being seen. And I'm like, that is just not normal. This lady needs proper mental evaluation. Like, she needs to have a proper mental health care professional to supervise her. And she probably needs medication, because she's not okay. And I really do feel like she's hurting. And I'm like, the thing about Jada Pinkett too, what she suffers from is the fact that because she's so pretty, because she's so rich, because she's so successful, people have it in their sick little minds that when you're that rich and you're that pretty, there's no way you can have mental health issues. But the lady is not okay. Because you think about this, her mom was on drugs for like 30 years. Gammy was on crack for 30 years. And no offense to Gammy, but my thing is, most people who have these really serious types of addiction, prolonged type of addiction from the get-go, right? they have a chemical imbalance. It's a certain type of person that becomes a drug addict. Not trying to be funny, right? Because you notice that people who are not really meant to be drug addicts, when they mess with drugs, they always come out on top. Like, they quit. They have the ability to quit. There are people who are born with natural chemical imbalances. There are people who are born with like effed up minds. A lot of people are not born with healthy minds. And it's like people feel like it's a mean thing to say. No, a lot of people are born unhealthy. A lot of people are born with low functioning thyroids, dismembered kidneys. I don't know. But a lot of people are not born with a healthy mind. A lot of people are not born with a healthy level of hormones. A lot of people have chemical imbalances. And most people who have chemical imbalances will be more likely to become substance abusers. They will abuse things. So it's like, it lets me know that in Jada's family, right, there is a gene for substance abuse. But I feel like her substance abuse, her type of substance that she's addicted to is self-harm. Like Gammy, hers was the drugs. But Jada harming herself like this, it gives her a different type of high. And on top of that, when I was watching the Red Table Talk one time, she said that when she was 9 years old, her grandmother was teaching her how to play with her clitoris. That is a predator. Her grandmother was a pedo. Her grandmother was a pedophile. And nobody ever asked, okay, how did you even go from Baltimore to LA? Like, who raised you, Jada? What was your childhood like? What were your teenage years like? Like, there's something so bizarre that happens to this one from like the age of 9 to whatever age she meets Will Smith. What was her life like? Where did she live? Who took care of her? Who was feeding her? You know what I'm saying? Who was feeding her? That's impressive. You know what I'm saying? That's impressive. You know what I mean? That's really impressive. And it's like, nobody's, sorry, it's from my mom somewhere else. And you're like, nobody's even asking that. But I'm like, this lady went through a lot of abuse. She went through a lot of abuse. And it's like the fact that she hasn't gotten the mental health she needs. No, but people give her a bunch of microphones every single time. People give her a bunch of microphones every single time so she could keep talking out of this unhealthy space that she's in and make a fool of herself, right? It's really giving Brittany Renner. I'm like, this lady needs help. People are like, oh no, let her speak her truth. No, she doesn't need to speak her truth. Because if you're speaking from an unhealthy mind, it is not the truth you're speaking. It's confusion that you're speaking. And unfortunately, the more you speak of these confusion, the more you devalue yourself in the eyes of people. Because people are going to start calling you all kinds of names. But I'm like, this woman right here is in serious pain. And it's bigger than Will Smith. It's so much bigger than Will Smith. And I'm like, God, I really started praying for Jada Pinkett. Like, God, please give her the help she needs. Let her meet an honest person. Like, let her meet an honest mental health professional who's not going to try to be famous off of her name, who's not going to try to get clout off her name. But Jada needs a serious help. Because we could really wake up one day and this lady can really delete herself. You understand, right? But Willow is suffering. Willow is suffering. Jaden is suffering. The kids are suffering. And for so many years, like black people are like, oh, they're so weird, they're so different. But I'm like, them babies have been suffering. Because if the mother is suffering, how will the babies not be suffering? If your mom is not mentally well, how can a baby be mentally well? How can she be well? And that's why I even look at Will Smith funny too. I'm even trying to be funny, but I'm starting to look at him funny too. You know, he posted a video of him on a boat somewhere because he's going to Antarctica. But I'm like, he seems like he escapes a lot. He avoids issues a lot. He runs away from issues a lot. He avoids things a lot. But I'm like, this lady is dying. She's not okay. This is not a time for you to be going to Antarctica. Or when he said like, oh, your happiness is not my problem. Like one time he told Jada like, oh, your happiness is not my problem. I'm like, that's kind of like not okay to say because she's your wife. And she's hurting. She's seriously hurting. Maybe you know how to cope with your dysfunction, right? Because some people know how to cope with their dysfunction. Some people know how to pretend like nothing is happening. I mean, he's a great actor, right? But I'm like, I don't think she's that type of person. And I think she tried to numb herself with sex. I think she's trying to numb herself with, she tries to numb herself with so many things. But there's a certain type of spiritual oppression. She just can't seem to break loose from that. And I really pray for her because it has to be awful to live in a body where your mind just hates you or you hate your mind and you can't even have mental peace in your own head 24/7. No, that's torture. That really is torture, you guys. And I'm really going to ask you. I know it sounds crazy because it's so much easier to want to cuss her ass out. But I really do implore y'all. We need to pray for her. We really need to pray for her. And we truly need to ask God, the angels, the spirits, the ancestors, to truly lead her towards an honest person who's not trying to get a book, who's not trying to have views for their podcast, who's not trying to make money off of her, right? May the Lord really lead her to an honest person with a good heart who can truly help her because she's so broken. Come, like it's not possible. How can you be so pretty, have all these things, and it's like you're so not happy? Why are you not happy, Jada? Like, what happened? You understand? And it's like, it really puts all this stuff in perspective. Like, always telling yourself, oh, if I make more money, I'll be happy. If I get more views, I'll be happy. Y'all, it is not real. Don't create this false paradigm for yourself. Do not create this false paradigm for yourself. Do not create this false paradigm for yourself. Don't think it takes more money or being prettier. No. If you're going to do the work, do it now. Don't think it's something that, oh, it has, with money, I'll be happier. With more clothes, I'll be happier. With more this. No. Your happiness, your joy, it should not be conditional on you having more things because it's a myth. Because look at all these celebrities. They're all falling apart. And it really took the panini and them not being able to go to work, not being able to shop, not being able to travel. It took these celebrities not being distracted by their work or being on red carpets and them having to stay home and reckon with who they are for them to start shattering like mirrors. Like, what is this? What is happening to y'all? What is going on? What is going on? You know what I mean? And I do feel like Karen said God can lead her to one, but what we really need to do is pray for Jada to have a heart to receive one. None of it will matter if she doesn't want to help to heal. So may God also touch her heart. Because I do want her to come out on the other side. Because I'm like, the way she's acting me, I'm scared. Like, I don't want this one that we wake up and this lady unalive herself. Because her and her mind, they don't make one. I'm like, you have to be in spiritual agony. There's no way you have peace. And you know another thing also about a peaceful person? Like when you really have a peaceful soul, when you have a peaceful mind, you don't talk too much. When you start seeing people talk a whole lot, they can't shut up, something is wrong. Yippity, 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 yippity. I'm like, girl, can you, like, is there ever a day you stay silent? Like, that's how you know Brittany Renner's not okay. She can't stop talking. Like, usually, people who have a peaceful mind, people who have a happy mind, people who love themselves and who are content with themselves, guess what? They are really quiet because they have peace. But people who, like, their souls are tormented, their souls are being claimed, or their souls are being inflicted, they can't shut up. And you think, like, why does this person talk? You think they're just out here want to run their mouth. They just want to talk. Oh, just be quiet already. Take us out the group chat. But what you fail to recognize, because a lot of people don't see things spiritually, it's not even them talking. It's not the physical person you see talking. It's their soul. Their soul is in so much pain. The soul is hurting so. Know how to, like, they don't know how to find healing. So they're just rambling like crazy. You know how crazy people talk a whole lot? Drug addicts. You see a lot of crazy people who have like nervous breakdowns, people who have very severe depression. They just ramble. They can talk and talk. They can talk and talk. You're like, but dang, what's wrong with this person? Right? But it's not even. Y'all, hold on. Give me a second. What the heck? Give me one. Sorry, y'all. I'm back. Sorry. Right? They're not even aware that they're talking so much. It's their soul. The soul is in so much agony. It's like you're drunk. It's like you're drunk. There's so much sadness in the soul. The mouth can't stay shut because the soul is suffering, y'all. And you know what the problem is also? I'm going to talk to Kevin since Kevin's writing all the comments. You know what the problem is also, Kevin? A lot of it's like, we spend so much time. Some of it is some of it is conscious, some of it is our fault. But the problem is, in this world, in this society, not just America, in the world, period, right? We are trained, we are encouraged, we are motivated to only care about the flesh. We spend so much time worried about the flesh. We want things, not because it's good for us, but it's all about the flesh. It's the food we want, the clothes we want, the cars we want, the degrees we want. It's everything we do is for the flesh. My flesh, my flesh, my flesh. I need to feel rich. I need to feel beautiful. I need to feel strong. I need to feel powerful. I need to be a boss. We're so worried about the flesh. We dedicate so much of our waking hours catering to the flesh. Like, going to Paris Fashion Week. I'm going to Milan Fashion Week. Once again, it's just worried about the flesh. And we never worry about our souls. So when you spend so many years, you spend so many decades neglecting your soul, one day your soul crashes out. One day the soul just burns. It just burns out. The soul is tired because it was never fed. It was never fed. It was never catered to. That's why all this manic depression, all that stuff, it comes from years, decades of neglecting the soul. The flesh, your soul and your flesh are not connected. You are so focused on my flesh, my flesh, my flesh, my flesh, my flesh. And it's like you completely disregard your soul. So one day it just crashes and it burns. And then your mind goes into a spiral because you're confused. I should be so happy by now. I've done everything I thought I was supposed to do. Why am I not happy? Why is it that I can't get this high and feel like, I'm supposed to fly and just do these things and my soul should be flying. My soul should feel strong. I should feel like I'm on top of the world. But instead, you feel so small. You feel so small because you never took care of your soul. Just like so many people, just like Jada Pinkett. Because I know Jada, for a long time, she was hiding with sex. Because you cannot tell me this lady never slept with a woman. It's all over her face. Her little crew, her, Queen Latifah, that little posse, right? People hide behind sex. Hypersexual, sexual, same sex, all type of sexual debauchery. But all the stuff, it catches up to you. Everything, it will catch up to us. You numb yourself in alcohol. One day it's going to catch up to you. And you're going to count yourself lucky if you don't commit murder. Because that alcohol can lead you into an accident. And guess what? People who drink and drive, they never die. They always kill other people. That's how they sober up. All that drugs, messing with drugs. People going to get hurt. You're not going to get hurt. But people you love are going to get hurt because of your addiction. Because for every choice, there is a consequence. But it's like we're trained. We are encouraged. We are marketed to make choices that are so good for the flesh, but they're so horrible for the soul. They are so horrible. And that's why I say, when you really sit back and you think about it, right, you recognize that we as human beings, we're not living in a place where we are welcome. That's why we are constantly struggling between right and wrong, evil versus good. Because if we were actually in our home, I guess, if we were naturally in our natural habitat as a human race, good choices will come naturally to us. But as human beings, evil always comes natural to us. Why? Maybe because we are intricately evil. Maybe we are evil. Maybe we're born wicked. Maybe we're born so wicked that all we know to do naturally is evil. And it's only when we are taxed with the consequences of our evil choices that we are humbled, defeated. And so the humility and the defeat forces you to now want to seek righteousness. Because it takes a long time for us to see the good and righteousness. We always see the good and evil first because it satisfies the flesh. It satisfies greed. It satisfies selfishness. It satisfies the need to put yourself first above other people. That's why we love money so much. Because in money and like the love of money, the lust of money, the desire of money is the need to say, if I make so much of this, I will be able to control other people. If I make so much of this, I can do whatever I want. If I make so much of this, I will never have to face the consequences of my action. We pursue money not because we seek humility, but we want power. Not just power over ourselves, but power over other people. And that in itself is wicked. It's very wicked, right? Like we're not naturally, so I'm like, are we naturally bad? I don't know. Because, one day I was walking and I was really walking. Because when I go on these long walks, I have these deep conversations. And I said, but God, if you are so good, if you are as good as people say you are, maybe as I believe you are, but how can a good God create such wicked human beings? How can you be so good, but what you created creates so much harm? How? So it's like, so then you really start to wonder, because I ask a lot of questions. My mind is very free. I'm free. I am free. I am free. I don't fear stuff like that. So it's like to me, it's so confusing. Because if we are creatures, if we are as humans, if we are creatures of intelligent design, made by an intentional design, then why are we so wicked? Why do we do so much harm? Why is like our first reaction to everything is always violence? Why are we like this? So it's like either God, are you really good? I don't know. Or the way we came to be, it just happened. It wasn't like a true design. It was just like, oh, this is just a natural evolution of things. And so that's how the human race was brought about. I don't know. Or it could also be that this human race was not desired on this earth. So whatever was here first has decided to forever wage war against us. But because we don't really see in the spiritual, we only see what we can see. And we've been encouraged to only believe in what we can see. Believe in what you hear, believe in what you can see, believe in what you can touch. So I feel like even that too has limited our spiritual abilities or even our spiritual humility in saying like, maybe I'm not alone on this planet. I think I'm strong, but am I really the strongest? Because look at how quickly look at what happened in New York. Look at how quickly water can destroy people. Look at how quickly fire can destroy people. Look at how elements of nature can just obliterate all of us and we could just be gone. Buildings, airports, planes, you name it, human beings. We can be wiped away. Like you really sit here and you think about how, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's like, but damn, like this is really humbling. As humans, we can spend 40 years building a city. We can spend so much money on steel and labor. You can build the biggest building. You can build the biggest city. Spend all your years, centuries even. And then one day, the water says, I'm going to take all this shit down. And then boom, nobody can stop it. All you can do is retreat and say, you know what? We just got to wait for the water to do whatever the water does. Nobody knows how to solve it because we're not even allowed to know how to solve it. I even feel like when you even think about like all the technology stuff, I feel like all the technology that we have, all the technological advancement that we have, the people who are chosen to usher new inventions into this world, I feel like they're allowed to do that. I feel like they are granted these ideas. And whatever type of technology we have, we only have it because those spiritual entities allow us to have it. And even where they're leading us to, when it comes to AI, we think it's our own, it's our own will that makes us want to do AI. It's our own intelligence. It's our own volition, that is steering us towards the embracing of AI. No, no. It could be like those spirits again are like, yep, we're going to seduce you with this because you're so greedy. We're going to seduce you with playing with something that is going to annihilate you. Because deep down inside, we don't really want you here. They make us create things. They allow us to create things. They have these, they put these deposits of ideas in our heads, right? Marie Curie with the nuclear stuff, right? Oppenheimer with the nuclear stuff. You like random people. They're chosen. They receive these deposits of these great inventions. But when you really think hard about it, all the invention is a weapon of mass destruction that we can use on each other. Why? Because whatever type of forces run this planet, they don't want us here. And they take a good old laugh. They take great old pleasure in watching us self-destruct. And that's why, and I'm not trying to be funny, and that's why if you notice, there are so many false prophets too. This, the sad thing, I feel like one of the greatest lies we ever had, especially if you grew up Christian, or if you grew up monolithic, like, oh, you believe in like one God. I feel like one thing growing up Christian, like one of the biggest scams growing up Christian, is being told that there's just one Satan. Like, oh, there is Satan. Like, you have God and you have Satan. So you think, oh, I just need to focus on like, oh, Satan. Everything is Satan, Satan, Satan. I'm like, I even think that that's also like low-key, high-key, very simplistic. I think it's very simplistic. I think there are many entities of evil. And many of them, like, it's not just Satan. It's a lot more of them. They have different names. It's just that because of our brains, it's so much easier for us to make everything black and white. Is this or that? Is one or is zero? Or is that? And I'm like, I don't think when it comes to spiritual things, it's that easy. I think there's more evil. There are more forms of evil, not just Satan. You know what I mean? I think he's the one who's like been marketed a whole lot, especially in Christianity. Oh, the devil, this, the devil, that. So you think everything is just one thing. It's just the devil. But I'm like, no, I think it's many of them. I think it's many different forms of them. I think it's many entities of them, right? And I feel like one of the main things about them is like, I don't really think they want us on this planet. So everything we will ever create, everything we do create, it like just moves us towards annihilation of the human race. Everything like the majority of stuff that comes to our head always leads to mass killings of people. Mass displacements of people, mass diseases of the people. It's just like, I don't know. I just like there's many of them and they come in many forms. And I feel like you even have some of them who reside over countries, reside over people, reside over cities, reside over neighborhood. But I'm like, they have a goal, and their goal is to drive humans mad, to drive humans against humans. And that's why you notice, like, for the majority of the time, people who promote violence are always acclaimed. People who promote madness are always celebrated. Like you look at what's going on throughout the world, like whether it's here with the Donald Trump, you look around the world, and I'm like, I don't think that these people are randomly successful. Like Donald Trump, even though I do find him funny sometimes, but I cannot lie to you guys, y'all. I do feel like there are strong, powerful spirits. There's a strong spiritual force around this man, and that's why he has such a power over people. I don't even think it's him. I don't think, like, you know how when we look at Donald Trump, you might see an old white man that's orange, right? That's what you see. But I feel like those people who are really seduced by him, I think when they look at him, they probably see something else. Like spiritually, they see something else. It's just that they can't describe what they see. But whatever they see is telling them like, yep. Like, it is not a natural type of attraction. Like, what president have you ever seen do this to the American people? There comes a time you got to tell yourself, like, this is not becoming supernatural. They're not attracted to Trump because he's just Trump. They're attracted to him because there's some type of force, like there's some type of energy around him that possesses these people. For people to say, oh, if this man is in prison, we're still going to vote for him. At that point now, you have to recognize, like, you're no longer dealing with the flesh. This is becoming spiritual warfare. These people are in a spiritual trance. They're in a spiritual trance. And that's why I tell y'all, that's why I say, like, oh, I believe in, like, the zodiac stuff, like the astrology stuff. Like, I really do believe in that. I really do believe in that. I believe in fields of energy. I believe in force fields of energy. I believe in magnetic fields of energy. I believe in spiritual fields of energy. And when them things rise up, people don't even know what they're doing. They're like zombies. They're just possessed, and you saw it with the panini. People were so possessed. They were so, I don't know, like they were hypnotized. Anything the doctors would say, anything Fauci would say, people are like, they would believe it. They would fight you for it. It wasn't even normal. People's reaction was so visceral. You had anything to say about the jab, you had any type of question about it, they would fight you, report you, cancel you. It wasn't even normal. It wasn't normal because it was some type of like force field around these people. Even they themselves, they fell prey to it. And it goes to show you how vulnerable human beings are to spiritual influence. And you see it in the music. Look how the frequency of the music has gotten darker and darker, and people are accepting it. Like, I'm gonna tell you this: when Sexy Red first came out, people were like, "What the heck is she singing? Like, that is so disgusting. That is so nasty." People were so shocked. Like, my what is what? Your what is pick? It was so nasty. But within 2 weeks, people settled into that because the frequency of it was irresistible. The frequency of that stuff was irresistible. And within a week or two, people flipped their hearts. They're like, oh, you know what? I could see myself dancing to a song that talks about booty hole is brown and the vagina is pink. That's not normal. That's not normal. Which lets you know we're not as strong as we think we are. You know what I mean? We're not as strong. You guys, you need to think about what I'm trying to say. Think about what I'm saying, you guys. Think about how people switch right before your eyes. You cannot tell me that sometimes it doesn't scare you. Think about how people switch right before your eyes. You'll be like, what the heck? What just happened? You were just happy a minute ago. Now you're crazy? How is this okay? And it goes to show you we are really vulnerable. And as human beings, we spend so much, even like these pharmaceutical companies, right? Even these pharmaceutical companies, they spend so much time, once again, medication to heal the body. Heal the body. All the medication is geared towards what? Healing the body. But who has medication to heal the soul? Nobody. So then it's like, think about how vulnerable the soul is. The soul is so vulnerable. It is so open. Because once again, just like in warfare, they distract you. They make you pay attention to one thing so hard, you completely let your guards down when it comes to your most important form of protection, your soul. We're so focused on the flesh, we have left our souls up for barter. And the soul of the human race is being attacked. That's why today, morality is such a foreign concept to people. Start talking about morality, see what happens. Even sometimes, like, notice how, like, we'll have, like, basic conversation, like, simple topics. Basic topics like back in the 90s, everybody could agree on. Today, talk about some of these modern topics today that actually make no sense. And you will see how people will respond. They will get so violent. You're like, what is the problem? Look at how today people are so triggered by people who don't think like them. You think that's normal? That is not normal. You know what I mean? We are very fragile, Kevin. We've been lied to. We look at militaries. We look at the fact that, oh, well, we built houses. We have fire detectors, and we have cars, and we have guns, and we have nuclear bombs. It's all a joke. It is all a lie. Because we, like, even I was sitting here. I was in the kitchen though, but I was doing something in the kitchen, and this girl, she makes these really cool videos, and she was talking about the ocean. I was like, here we go. She's talking about the ocean, and she was talking about how, like, I'm telling y'all, the bottom part of the ocean, nobody can get there. Nobody can get there. It's like it will shatter your eardrums. It will shatter your eyesight. That place is so dangerous. Human beings are not strong enough to get there. So my thing is, whatever is down there, they're strong enough not just to be down there, but they're strong enough to come up here. The fact that we live, we share a planet with creatures we've never seen. Like, if that doesn't scare you, I don't know. We share the planet with creatures we have never seen. I'm like, how do we know that dragons are not real for real, for real? How we know? We don't know. It's just, I guess, out of respect for us, they never come up, but maybe they do come up. We just don't see them when they come up. Because maybe they've mastered the art of the skies and they understand also how to disappear when it comes to, like, infrared and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. But I'm like, these whatever is down there, that type of life is just so smart. They're so smart. They have figured out a way to shield themselves. It's like having like a nuclear shield, but it's even stronger than a nuclear shield. Like you're sometimes say like that thing is even stronger than the nuclear shield. Nobody can go down there, but I'm sure they can come up. And the fact that white people don't even want to find out what's down there, that tells you a whole lot. But once in a while, when they feel some type of way, they drown our stuff. They drown schools, they drown cities, they do whatever they want. And nobody could do anything to that. Nobody could check them. They're uncheckable. But I was like, you know what? It makes sense though, because who knows? I'm telling you, we don't even know how long this planet has been here for real, for real. All we know is from what the scientists and historians tell us, but a lot of them also are liars because many of them don't have the answers. Many of them are guessing stuff. Many of the stuff we see sometimes is made in Hollywood. It's not even real. Okay? There's so much we don't know. There's so much we are ignorant of. And even a lot of models, assumptions we make, many of them are made off of false assumptions. So the whole model is false. But I'm like, whatever is here, whatever lives here that we cannot see, they are way smarter than us. They are way smarter than us. And one thing they've recognized about us little fickle human beings is how greedy we are. We are very greedy. We are so greedy because we don't understand those bigger things. Because the real wealth, I think, that's just me, the real wealth, I think, it comes from understanding spiritual things. Because if you understand spiritual things, if you truly understand what this life is about, what this earth is about, what all this is about, you are really wealthy because you have a knowledge that not a lot of people have. You understand? But one thing I do recognize with these spirits, all of them, whatever they are in the earth, the skies, wherever they happen to be, okay, one thing I know about these spirits is that they have studied us so well. And one thing they do know about the human race is how greedy we are. We are greedy, tiny people. We're very greedy and we're very arrogant. We think we're way more powerful than what we truly are. You understand, right? And so what often is done by these entities is they use money to get us to be the worst of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? When in reality, when it's all said and done, you can't take none of this stuff with you. You can't take it with you. But they'll encourage you, they'll seduce you, sell your soul, torment your soul, deprave your soul, so you can have a few diamonds. You can have fame. You can have a few people clapping for you. You can get a Grammy. Like, you can get an Oscar. Like, them things are so irrelevant. Like, when you think about, you take a moment and you think about all the wealth that is at the bottom of the ocean. Think about all the wealth. And I'm not talking about all the pirate ships that sunk and all kinds of, like, that too. But everything that is at the bottom of the ocean. The oil that's there, the uranium that's there. Think about all the wealth that resides at the bottom of the ocean, right? And then think about the money that we have, like the wealth that we have here on top of the earth. Because at one point, all this earth was beneath the waters. At one point, because the water just keeps receding. There was a point in time, especially when you drive to like New Mexico, Arizona, you see all these like big rocks, like these Rocky Mountains, like they're crazy. And they have all these indentation on the side. You can tell that these things a long time ago were under the water. Okay? So it's like this earth came up from the waters, so it has a bit of wealth on it. But think about what's at the bottom of the ocean. Right? There's way more wealth. I feel like if you could take whatever's at the bottom of the ocean, you could, like, you would have, everybody would have money. Everybody could be wealthy, but we don't. Instead, we create false symbols of wealth, like even gold. We don't even have enough gold anymore. That's why all this fiat money, it has hyperinflation. Because before it was backed by gold, but because humans are so greedy, the gold supply and how much money humans want, especially the West wanted, it couldn't keep up. So now it's just like, okay, we're just going to say that it's worth what it is. It's just people agree on a lie, really. But it's not backed by gold. It's good faith, I guess. So it's like, nah, people are printing more money than they have gold to back it. Everything is fake. Everything is false, right? They take a random white person, they turn him into a gold statue, and they say, oh, that's an Oscar. It's worth working years for, and it's worth you slaving away for. It really isn't. Gwyneth Paltrow, she uses that thing for a door stopper. So it's like, is it really worth what it's worth, right? Oh, get a Grammy. You need to have a Grammy. You gotta have a Grammy. But it's like, okay, you go, you fight, you make all this deranged music, disturbed music, pornography music to have a Grammy. But it's like you still have problems like everybody else. Like it just stands on your mantle. It does absolutely nothing for you. We're always chasing false idols of success. And you give your soul, you give your time, which is one of the most precious resources you'll ever have. You use your brand, you use your influence, right? And you lead people straight into perdition because you think, oh, that's what success really is. You know what I mean? But when it's all said and done, you're still suffering. You're like, but I thought this would fix my problem. I thought I'll be a superstar. I thought I'd be a mega superstar. And you become those things. And you're still not impervious to suffering. And that's when you recognize like these entities are really smart and they're really wicked. Because in the heart of men, they put that desire, they put that lust, and they know it's only going to make you worse for it. It's only going to make you even more broke. It's going to make you more sad. It's going to make you more obsessed. It's going to make you more envious. It's going to make you more disturbed. You're going to have mental disturbances because nothing will ever be enough for you. That's why sometimes like you even feel bad for people who have this obsession with I gotta be a boss B, I gotta be a boss, I gotta be blah. It's sad. It is sad because you see people who have been seduced by a lie, and it's like all you're gonna do is waste your precious time trying to be something that honestly you don't even need to be. And honestly, when you do become that, whatever that thing is, the sacrifices, the compromises, the bad things you'll have to do to become that person. By the time you get there, you might even hate yourself. And say, why did I do any of this? Every choice has a consequence. And no matter how small or how big, nobody escapes the consequence. Nobody does. Everybody, before you die, after judgment day, I think judgment day happens here on earth, right? You are going to be judged on this earth before you pass. Because nobody gets away with anything. Nobody gets away with anything. It might seem like people get away with stuff, right? Yeah, money and fame. And I really feel like that's how these spirits keep us distracted. The promises of money and fame. That's how they keep people at war. That's how they keep people divided. That's how they keep people hateful. That's how they keep people corrupt. Because we have been convinced, we have been seduced, we have been hypnotized into thinking that success is the abundance of money. You know what I mean? And it's like, once you start putting money first, you start being obsessed with money, you start being obsessed with fame. You're going to start to attract weird entities into your life. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to say like some people are, if you have money, automatically you're evil. I'm not saying that. But I do feel like some people, I understand why they have money, you know, and it takes a lot of wisdom to like get that, right? Because when you're young, you feel like if you are successful, a successful person has money because that's how the world brainwashes you, right? At a very young age, they put the love of money in you. They want you to love money. So that way you'll get into debt, you'll do all kinds of stuff, you'll get into crime. I mean, they need you to be an addict. Just like I told you about my sugar addiction, right? From a very young age, you are coerced, you are trained, you are seduced, you are encouraged, you're marketed to love money and to see money as the key of David, like the thing that just fixes everything. It solves all the problems. It gets you everything you want, right? That's why the powers that be chose the Kardashians, right? To be that tangible emblem of like, this is what money does for you. You can go from being a stylist to being a mega superstar, right? If you do whatever it takes, right? And you notice that with the rise of keeping up with the Kardashians, a lot of people truly started to keep up with the Kardashians. the BBLs, the promiscuity, the sex tapes, the leaking of the sex tapes, the obsession with fashion, the obsession with self, the AKA the selfie, right? Like it really became modus operandi to keep up with the Kardashians, literally. And now it's like if you are a person and you don't have attention on you 24/7, you think something is wrong. You know, you have to put everything on the internet. You understand? And even that too shows a form of mental affliction. You are afflicted. When people see privacy as a downfall and complete exposure of every single facet of their personal life for the world to consume in an effort to be important, that is a form of mental oppression. Like you're spiritually oppressed. You're not that important. And it's okay to not be that important. Why must you be important? Like seriously, it is very bizarre. You understand? But it's like you start to see false prophets are becoming more and more prominent because the seduction needs to become more and more like prominent. More and more people need to be seduced. Because the more you seduce these human beings, the more they will self-destruct. And you know, and it goes back to like I don't know who it was, but when I was reading one time I was reading this thing on the website, it was like the history of like Santeria, if I'm not mistaken. And so they were talking about the Orishas. And I remember I told you this. I said in the story, it was as if the god, so his name is Oludumare, he wanted to bring humans on the planet. So it was either Yamoja or Shun, I can't remember, but it was one of them who did not want humans on the planet. And she said she's going to make a vow to destroy these people. Right now, it could be a story, it could not be a story. But it's like, it's not even just her. But it's like, I really do believe that whatever was here first, they truly did not want us here. And ever since we've been here, we've been at war with those entities. But because we cannot see them and because we see each other and you see the person who does you harm, we learn to hate each other. Right? We learn to hate those who harm us and not hate whatever influence is causing a fellow human being to harm us. Because that sounds crazy. And not just that, it sounds as if you're taking accountability from the human that's actually doing the harm. But you got to really sit back and think to yourself, like there is a reason why there's a reason why certain groups of people are motivated, empowered to do the evil things they're able to do to other people. And not just that, even them being able to get away with it, right? The fact that there are certain groups on this planet who can do things to other people and get away with it too is a form of spiritual oppression. And justice is spiritual oppression. And there is a system of, right? There is a strong system of injustice in this world, right? Because when you witness injustice, when you live through injustice, when you experience injustice, right? It breeds even more hatred. So it's like we are stuck in a vicious loop. Innocent people will be hurt by other people, and then those people will get away with it. Because the design of it is they're supposed to get away with it so that you and your kids who have been victimized will learn to be hateful. And then the cycle just continues. The cycle just continues. And we keep hating each other, and we keep looking for revenge on each other, and we keep looking for justice or like human justice on each other, right? Because what we have experienced is not okay. But it's intentional. It is intentional. It's very much intentional. Whether it hides behind religion, whether it hides behind politics, whether it hides behind nationality, skin color, gender, you name it, right? But it's like we are oppressed to experience hate. They want us to experience hate, and they want us to move from a place of hatred. Because as long as humans continue to act and move from a place of hatred, this world will continue to be chaotic. And the more chaotic the world is, the more people will have ideas of evil weapons. And the more people have ideas of evil weapons, these weapons will be created. Because one thing about human beings, when they make up their mind to do something, they will do it. And when those weapons are created, they will be used. You understand? When those weapons are created, they will be used. And when they're used, a lot of people will perish. Like humans have done some awful things. Humans have done some evil things. And they continue to allow themselves to be used for evil things because they are seduced. I'm like, there's a real spirit of seduction out here. And it seduces all types of people, because I feel like one thing about these entities, they know humanity so well. They know people so well. They will seduce you based on who you are. Some people, they'll be seduced by violence. Other people will be seduced by money. Other people will be seduced by fame. Other people will be seduced by sex. Like, they cater to who you are. And that's how the seduction enters your life. That's why I always say, like, people should always try to live a life where you want for nothing. You should force yourself to become a person that wants for nothing, so that the devil has no entryway into your heart. That's why you need to work on a spirit of jealousy. You have to work on a spirit of envy. You have to work on your spirit of anger. You got to work on your spirit of frustration. You got to work on your spirit of alcoholism. You have to work on things so that you protect yourself. Because if there's any slight opening, they will use that against you. And before you know it, you too have been seduced. And you start making compromises for your soul. You start making compromises for your soul. And you say to yourself, well, it's not a big deal. At least I'm happy. At least I have a place to sleep. At least I got a big house. At least I got a big car. Be careful. You understand? So I was telling my friend on Instagram, because he was upset about the situation. I was like, but you got to understand. People, when it comes, because we're talking about business, I was like, when it comes to business, right? A lot of people who are successful in business, it's not because they're actually intelligent. I'm not trying to be funny, but it's not because they're actually intelligent. It's not actually because they're better than you. It's not because they have these big ideas. A lot of people got lucky. That's it. A lot of people got lucky. They got lucky. And many of them, it was their destiny. And the thing about destiny, it's not so much that I don't really know how to explain this thing, but I feel like one part when it comes to destiny, I don't know, because like how many lives you lived or what you're going through or what you're supposed to learn, maybe that's part of it too. But there's a certain element of destiny that is not fair, right? There is a certain element of destiny that is not fair. So sometimes you're like, well, how come this person was able to build such a big business and I can't? It's like, well, it's their destiny. It's not because they're better than you. It's about the lesson in life they're supposed to learn. See, if you look at money as success, your soul, I'm telling you, if you look at money as a form of success, as a measure of success, your soul is going to be tormented. You will torment yourself for nothing. Okay? Everybody who is born comes on this earth to learn something. You are here to learn a lesson. And even in part of you learning a lesson too, sometimes it involves either paying a debt for your foreparents or like it involves a whole lot of shit, right? But it's like a lot of times part of your destiny is you're going to have things you don't deserve. You're going to have things you deserve and things that you don't deserve. You're going to have things that just happen for you because it's your destiny, right? Now, the problem is when you're not a spiritual person, you can convince yourself that you are successful, you have money because you worked hard, right? Because you think you work harder than other people, which is not the case. Everybody works hard. There are people in Africa and Asia who work way harder than you, right? But unlike you, they were not lucky enough to be born in an advanced country, in a developed country, right? They were born in remote places, in poor places. So that was their destiny too. You are lucky to be born in a place like America, for example, right? Where many things are conducive to people out here being an entrepreneur. That's not something that you worked for. Well, I worked so hard. Everybody works hard, right? But it was your destiny to be this person. Like, take Harriet Tubman. Nobody had to put this girl in a school and say, oh, you got to be pro-black, free black people. Nobody put that in her. Nobody forced her to be that. That's who she was. That's who she was born to be. That was her destiny. And when something is your destiny, you're going to like walk towards it naturally because it's your destiny. You understand? Now, if a person has a business and like a person makes a lot of money from their business, a spiritual person would say, yeah, I think I work hard. I think I have good products, but I'm not the best. But I was chosen enough to have this. And so when I make money, yeah, it's great, but it's not like technically like my money, but I am a steward. You know what I mean? I was trusted. God has trusted me. Entities have trusted me with to do this thing. But it's like I'm here to learn a lesson from this, because why me and why not why me and not somebody else, right? But most people don't think like that, because people are encouraged to say, I did this, I built myself, I worked hard, I pulled myself up, I'm self-made. Ego, very ego driven. And when you're ego driven, you're gonna miss a lot of spiritual lessons, right? That's that. So if you're a person on the other side of the coin and you feel like, oh, because you don't have money, right, that somehow you're not successful, you're also missing the point. It wasn't your destiny. Why are some people great coaches and they can coach people to win Super Bowls, win championships, right? But they themselves never were great players. Like, they never really won, but somehow they make for great coaches. That's their destiny. Not everybody is going to be an all-star player like LeBron James, right? And at the same time also, right, not everybody's going to be a great coach like Pat Riley. It's a destiny. Some people will lead. Some people will serve, right? Some people will be the head and some people will be the tail. But ultimately, all these things have to work together for victory. So you got to be you got to be tempered when it comes to that. That's what I was telling him. So don't look at this lady and feel like, oh, how come is she dumb? Is she not smart? I'm like, none of what she does requires real intelligence. That's gonna be funny, right? But you see it all the time. There are people who are very smart, very, very intelligent, and they might only make $100,000 a year. You have people who are neuroscientists, and it takes them years to be that successful, right? And then you'll have somebody on TikTok do a stupid little video and get 60 million views, and next thing you know, they're multimillionaires for doing bibbidi bop bop, bibbidi bop bop on TikTok. It is very silly. It makes no sense. It really doesn't. But it was their destiny, right? But it's like your purpose is not less than, your purpose is not less of because you don't have quote unquote secular success. No, that's really silly. Do that make sense? Like the girl Bella Poarch, she did a song, B, 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 B. It's like she was saying the word B like 100 times. So because she was saying the word B 100 times, she got 100 million views. It's like, okay. And then she becomes popular off of that. Now she's like super rich off of that. But this doesn't require intelligence. Like, what I'm saying? It does not require intelligence. It doesn't require any type of gift. It's just that people are attracted to stupid things. People like silly stuff, right? Once again, it's the wickedness, right? We don't live in a world where people have a deep respect and appreciation for hardworking people. People are not attracted to intelligent people. People are not attracted to people who do meaningful work. People like stupid shit. Right? And so when people like stupid shit, you cannot be surprised that you live in a world or you live in a country where more dumb people have money and people who are intelligent people don't have money. Because it's a reflection of what the society values. In America, people value entertainers more than they value teachers. Right? People value people who please their flesh more than they value people who educate their flesh. You understand? If you are somebody who promotes foolishness to people, they are going to love you and appreciate you. That is part of the human wickedness, right? If you're somebody who brings correction to people, or even a personal trainer, he's not going to be as successful as a food influencer, right? A person that tells you eat whatever you want, eat all day, eat all the time, eat whatever you want. He's going to have she's going to have a lot of love. She's going to have a lot of support. She's going to blow up. She's going to make it because she's telling people, don't say no to your flesh. Say yes, 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 right? When you are a personal trainer and you make people do stuff that hurts, you hold them accountable, you make them run, you make them lift weights. No, they're not going to like you. It's not because what you do is not of value. It's of great value. But what you do requires people to suffer. It requires people to pontificate on their actions. Like, but damn, why is it I can't breathe? Why is my eating that bad? Is my exercise, is my fitness that bad, right? And people don't like to reckon with the total sum of their bad decisions. You understand? Like, that's why teachers are broke and TikTokers are millionaires. But when you look at the economy, what does a TikToker really add to the economy? Absolutely fucking nothing. Right? But those who tell people cater to your flesh, Never say no to your flesh. Give your flesh whatever it wants. Always be in love with your flesh. Constantly live for your flesh. Those people will always be praised. That's why the nastier your song is, the more you twerk, the more you talk about sex, the more you tell people do whatever you want to do, live your life. Dun, 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 dun. People love that. People love people who tell them cater to your flesh. Never say no to your flesh. Do not regulate your flesh. Do not say no to your flesh. America is a hedonistic country. Like, people just want to live for joy, pleasure, thrills. I mean, you name it. Bunch of heathenists out here, right? The moment you tell them you need to have a schedule, a routine, you need to fall back a little bit, you need to kind of chill, you become the enemy. And I tell you this too, right? Even that is a form of spiritual oppression. The fact that people get into such a daze that they no longer recognize that there is a need for discipline, there is a need for moderation, there is a need for, self-accountability, right? Lets you know people are not okay. People are not okay. Because when you do whatever you want, whenever you want, however the fuck you want, you might think it's freedom. But in all honesty, it's bondage. Because true freedom comes from having discipline. Because whatever you, like I said, once again, like I said earlier, whatever you do, there is a consequence, right? So when somebody says to you, do whatever you want, anytime, anywhere, any place, but you should ask yourself, if I do whatever I want, anytime, any place, no matter what, whenever, it's costing me something. When is the bill going to show up? And when the bill shows up, who going to pay for it? Right? People want to think about that. But a bill always shows up. You abuse your food, a bill going to show up. Right? You abuse sex, a bill going to show up. You abuse money, a bill will show up. You abuse whatever it is out here, a bill will eventually show up. Nobody avoids consequences. When you have a life of discipline, when you discipline yourself, when you live a life where you try to live within moderation, what you actually do is save yourself, because when the bill shows up, because they'll show up too, even the person that has discipline, they're going to have a bill too. But the problem is their bill won't be so high because they practice moderation. And when you practice moderation, you're less likely when your bill shows up to have a nervous breakdown. Like, oh my gosh, I wasn't aware I was spending so much. Oh my gosh, I was not aware I was eating so much. Oh my gosh, I was not aware I was having that much sex with that many random people. Oh my gosh, I was not aware I was doing X, Y, and Z. Because somebody lied to you and told you all you had to do in this life to be happy was to cater to your flesh 24/7. That is a pit straight out, that's a lie straight from the pit of hell. That is a spirit of mental, that's a spirit of mental oppression. You're spiritually oppressed. Exactly. That's what King Solomon said, right? There's a season for everything. There's a time to cry. There's a time to be happy. There's a time to be awake. There's a time to go to sleep. But when you live a life with no moderation, everything is in excess, you're going to have a very expensive bill. And that bill will most likely tax your soul. Whatever you give the flesh, I don't think people understand that, but whatever you give the flesh, especially whatever you give excess of to the flesh, your soul will pay the price for it. Because it works in balance. The more you cater to your flesh, the more you neglect your soul. And that has serious consequences. Yeah. Oh, I'm not going to sleep. And they even have a study. They even have a study of people who don't sleep enough are more likely to have heart attacks. They had this one man, he was a CEO. He used to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, run every day at 7 o'clock. The man dropped dead of a heart attack because he was not sleeping enough. He was not sleeping enough. But once again, it's that seduction of being a CEO. I wake up at 5 a.m. I'm running at 7 a.m. I work 15 hours a day. People really think it's a flex to overwork. But it's why are you overworking again? It's not because you're trying to save children from hunger and poverty. No, it's all about your ego. you're doing this, and I even tell people this, like when it comes to like working out or when it comes to weight loss, right? Because you have a lot of overweight, unhealthy people who try to do the most, like they want to run sprints, etc. Like they want to beat the body into submission. And I always say, you cannot work out from a place of ego. You have to listen to your body, right? You'll run eventually, but right now your body cannot run, so you need to humble yourself and walk, because that's all your body can take, right? Even with the Stairmaster, I tell people, right? You don't have to go for 15, 30 minutes off the bat. You're not healthy because you're taxing your heart, because your heart is never like, what's happening? You went from like, you not doing anything, and now you're trying to make your heart beat like 185 beats per minute. That is insanity. And you're going to do more harm than good. You don't work out. You don't try to lose weight from a place of ego. You do it from a place of love. You slowly introduce your body to exercise, right? Just like even getting off of sugar. You slowly get your body off of sugar. You have to do it slowly, right? You got to be on top of it though, but you have to do it slowly because it can be such a shock. And even doing too much with exercise when you're not a healthy person, you are more likely to injure yourself because you're not healthy. I had to learn that the hard way myself. You got to do it easily. So maybe you'll start walking for 15 minutes, or maybe you'll walk for like 30 minutes, right? You do whatever your body can. Just be consistent with your little 15-minute, 30-minute walks. Like, just be consistent with them, right? And then like maybe next month it goes from 15 to 30. And then in 3 months it goes from 15, 30 to 45, right? Slow and steady wins the race. Be proud of doing small progress. Like, it's a beautiful thing. If you're consistent with small progress, that's an amazing thing. You understand me? So that's what that is, right? But it's like you have to be very, very careful, because ego is a bitch. It's a real bitch. And a lot of ego will rob you of a lot of joy, a lot of pride. Like, not pride like as in being prideful, but you being proud of yourself. Like, you've done really well. You know what I mean? Not everything is for for you to compare yourself against the world. Like, you've done really well. You know your life. You know where you come from. You know what you had to deal with, right? And sometimes you have to celebrate. Like, you know what? I've done really well. I'm really proud of myself. Everything is not measured in terms of money. Everything is not measured in terms of followers. Everything is not measured in terms of views. The fact that you are here and that you're a good person, you don't hurt other people, you don't lie on other people, you don't try to destroy other people, be proud of that. Because there are people who live for destruction. If you are a drama-free person, like, be proud of yourself. If you are a toxic-free person, be very proud of yourself. If you have a helpful heart, if you have a generous heart, you know what I mean? Be proud of yourself. If you stay out the way and you don't bring harm to other people, be very proud of yourself. You understand? Be very proud of yourself. Never feel like, oh, if I don't have this, it means I'm not good enough. Maybe it's right now, it's not part of your journey. Maybe later it'll be part of your journey. I don't know. Life is so long. Who knows, right? Or maybe certain things might happen for you later. Either way, always be grateful. And I feel like another like medicine against like greed and all this weird spiritual oppression out here, right, is living a life of gratitude. Be grateful. I feel like the more grateful you are, every day you wake up and you're like, I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful for this. I'm great. Like, always find ways to be grateful. Always. Find gratitude in the smallest things. Like, learn to become that type of person. Even if you have a glass of water, oh my God, that's the best glass of water I ever had, right? If somebody opens the door for you, be grateful for that. Take nothing for granted. Because the more you practice that gratitude muscle, it's going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. And then when you see other things happen for other people, nothing will shake you because you know who you are, right? Be very grateful. That's why there's the video that went viral because this girl, the guy was trying to take her out to eat. I guess he took her to the cheesecake factory or whatever. And she's like, oh, she's not getting out the car because it's the cheesecake factory. No, I was really confused by that, right? And I'm like, this is what happens when you have people who are not rich, never been rich, and they try to cosplay as rich people. Like, you assume that rich people don't eat cheesecake factory because you think like you don't know what it is to be rich. So you assume, and you're assuming wrong. But for me, I'm like, anybody who makes time out of their day, right, to invite you anywhere, you should be grateful. Because first of all, you're not driving. Gas out here is like $4 a gallon. You're not driving. Somebody came to get you in their car. They're paying for gas. They're making their time to take you to Cheesecake Factory, right? The least you could say is, oh, thank you, right? Be grateful. You might be dead tomorrow. You might even die tonight. And that might be the last act of nicety that you could have, that you experienced from another person. We all love the cheesecake. That's why I was so confused. Like, what? Like, why is she treating the Cheesecake Factory like it's McDonald's or something like that? I was so confused, you know? But I'm like, be grateful. And most likely, if you go in there and eat in there, you're not going to pay for anything. But be grateful. Even if you feel like $100 is nothing. Maybe you, I don't know. Maybe you're that rich. I don't know. But my point is, somebody spends $100 on you. Somebody spends $50 on you. Somebody spends even $10 on you, right? Be grateful. Somebody offers you a cup of coffee. Be grateful. You know what I mean? Be grateful. They didn't have to do it. Even you go to work, somebody offers you a cold glass of water or a cold bottle of water on a hot day. It's not because, oh, you can't buy the water yourself, but it's just like even them being intentional, the water being cold. Oh, wow, that's really nice. Like, God bless you, man. Thank you, because I really needed that. You know what I mean? It's like today, like, people are not polite. They're not grateful. They walk around feeling so entitled. Oh, I deserve it. I deserve it all. And I'm like, sometimes, but then again, you got to be spiritual for that kind of perspective. But I always feel like you don't even know who's giving you that. You know, there's a passage in the Bible, I think it's in Hebrews, that says that they received angels and did not know. You never know if this person giving you an act of charity is an angel in disguise. You don't even know. And then you just scuff the person, you look down the person, you talk bad about the person, and then one day you're going to find out that was an angel. And maybe had you displayed grace and gratitude, that would have unlocked a great blessing for y'all. You have no clue. You guys, let me tell you a story, y'all. Can I tell you a story? I swear on everything. I would never even lie to you guys. Hey, you guys, one day I was in New Orleans, right? With Leon Lashes. When I tell you a girl was struggling for money, I was struggling for money. I was like, how? Because I had these invoices I had to pay. Listen to me. Listen to me. I was probably like on my last 100. I don't know. But I had a few hundreds on me. You understand, right? You guys, I said, oh, I'm going to go to Walmart and I'm going to make like food bags. I kid you not. I said I'm going to make some food bags for the homeless. You know what I mean? So I went to Walmart and I bought some like brown paper bags. I bought a bunch of things, water bottles, right? And I said, oh, once I get home, I'm going to put the food, the water into the bag. And then I'm going to write like a scripture and put like a Bible verse in each bag. You guys, I remember this vividly on everything I love, on Stefan's head. When I tell you, I did 18 bags. 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I did 18 bags of food, right? With every single bag had a Bible scripture inside the bag. And I put those in my car and I drove through New Orleans and I gave all the bags. Because I was like, I have to give every single bag out, you guys. I gave away all the 18 bags. There was an old man. I think he was like my last one. He didn't want the bag. I said, what you mean you don't want the bag? So then I had water. He said he don't want the bag because he was a black man. I guess he didn't want charity, but I could tell he was thirsty. So I said, okay, even if you don't want the bag, can I at least leave you the water? He said, no. Chad, I left the water. So you're not going to mess up my blessing today. So I left the water. I ran to my car. And then when I looked back in the rearview mirror, he was drinking it because he was thirsty. He just didn't want to be seen like a homeless taking charity, right? So fast forward. So I get to the house and I had to go. I forgot what I had to go to. But my supplier was like, Marlene, I'm going to send you the products and you pay me later. You guys, when I tell you the invoice was $18,000, I said, Jesus, maybe I should have done 50 bags of food. I gave out 18 bags, 18 brown paper bags, right? And she fronted me $18,000 worth of lashes. You guys, because I was like, what the heck? When the stuff flew, when it left, because my lashes are from China. When they left China, I got the DHL number. I said, Jesus, like the lashes were just everywhere. Gratitude, being charitable, something I couldn't even pay for, you guys. It was fronted, okay? Fronted me the products, 18 grand. Your girl couldn't pay for it. The products came. Then I sold them. Then I paid her. You understand me? Right? When you move with your heart, Not with the mind of like, oh, what can I get from this person? How can I use this person? How can I abuse this person? Me. When you stop putting yourself first, and sometimes you open your eyes and you start to see that there are other people out here suffering, you know what I mean? You'll be surprised what God can do for you. You know what I mean? That's why I say, like, you should always live a life of gratitude. Even if in your personal life, the way you treat yourself, you can buy things for yourself or you can do certain things for yourself, right? You should always live a life of gratitude. When somebody does something to you, no matter for you, no matter how small it is, always say thank you. It takes nothing from you. And honestly, that's also part of being a beautiful person and having a beautiful soul, is being the type of person that really recognizes every time something is being given to her. Oh my gosh, thank you. That's so sweet. Somebody even says a prayer for you. It's not like you can put a price on that prayer, but the fact that somebody took their time and thought enough of you to pray for you, right? That you should be like, wow, that's so sweet. Thank you so much, right? The fact, like, even you guys, like, I do lives for like 5 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, right? And you stay with me. That's a long time to stay with a person. And for that, too, I am very grateful for you as well. It's not like, oh, it's not money. But the fact that somebody takes 5 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours to listen to you yappity yap for 10 hours, that is crazy. Even James can't do it. Okay? So it's like, you have to be grateful. You understand? The fact that you have a platform and other people subscribe to your platform, it doesn't mean that you're better than them. Because out of the people watching you, you don't know what somebody's gift is. Tomorrow, they could start their own platform and they could blow you out the water because you don't know anybody's destiny. You don't know the gifts, the treasures, the potential, the abilities, the whatever that lies inside of a person. You know what I mean? And that's why, for me, I am really big on gratitude. And that's why I cannot stand people who are ungrateful. I cannot stand people who don't mention, you know what, this person did open a door for me. This person did have my back. This person, and that was something I really used to struggle with. You know, because I've helped a lot of people. And I was always so shocked. Like, you're really about to sit here and not give me credit for the fact that I opened this door for you? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? But the Lord had to teach me, Marlene, let that go. Because God is just trying to show you how some people are, right? But don't let that change you. But I'm really big on people displaying gratitude. When somebody helped you, say they helped you. When somebody fed you, say they fed you. When somebody does something nice for you, give them credit because, oh, this person right here, when I was down or when I was over here, they really did look out for me. You understand? You know what I'm saying? So it's like moving gratitude. And stay away from people who are not grateful people. A lot of these narcissists, sick people, like, oh no, I have standards, I have high standards. What standard you have that are so high you can't say thank you to a person? You know what I mean? No, you're just an entitled ass, low self-esteem having type of brat. Because life, you could be up here tomorrow, and then the next day you can be eating out of a trash can. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody out here knows how they're going to go out of this place. Nobody knows. How many people we saw on TV or we see on social media, they're happily married, right? And then a few years down, divorcing, hating their guts, trying to kill each other out here. We've seen it all. We've seen people be mega rich. Then they're out there living in the Wyoming with alpacas. Okay, we have seen it all. We've seen people go from mega successful to being super hated. I remember, like, when I think about Jeffree Star, for example, one year he was on top of the world. Documentary, the eyeshadow palette, Shane Dawson, motherfuckers out here like selling $19 million of product in one day. A year later, it was like the apocalypse. Like, what happened? I was like, what? In 1 year. He went from being like the number one like beauty brand to the most hated man on the planet. People throwing his stuff in the trash. His products being in Marshalls, TJ Maxx. You're like, how does this happen in less than 1 year? How can a person's life change so drastically, right? What is it? What is it that we have not seen on social media? What is it that we haven't seen in celebrity news, right? People that used to be so famous, now they can barely get paid $5,000 to go show up at a club and sing their old hits because nobody cares. Nobody cares. You can be sitting at a table where you don't even drink water. It's nothing but like the best champagne in the world, the best food in the world. You stay at like 5-star hotels. You just run up a tab like you can spend $100,000 a minute. And then years later, we see you working God knows where at McDonald's. You understand? Like you even have influencers now who are going and getting regular jobs. We have seen it all. No shame. No, not talking bad about anybody. But it just goes to show you this life. It's so fickle. Nothing is guaranteed to anybody. Nothing is guaranteed to men. And the most scariest part about the human experience is that we don't know how we're going to end. We don't know what the end looks like. And even that to me, when I think about that, sometimes like it really humbles me. You don't know how you're going to leave this place. And you don't even know in what condition you're going to leave this place. You don't even know if you're going to go before your children, if your children are going to go before you. You have no idea. Don't know how you're going to age. Are you going to age gracefully? You're going to be in and out of the hospital. You're going to have to get surgery after surgery after surgery, and they're going to have to cut every single limb off your body. You know what I'm saying? There's so much we don't know. And yet people walk around with so much arrogance, so much pride, so much contempt for other people, so much like, this like just yuck type of behavior. But it's like you have no clue. You have no clue. That's why I really stay away from arrogant people. First, because I think it's a huge sign of insecurity. But number two, I just like, here you have a person that has no idea. It's just like Nebuchadnezzar in the Bible. He was so arrogant. The man built statues in his own face, and people had to go worship the statues. And God just laughed at him. Like, do you not know that you shall be living with the wild animals for 7 years? People will see you, won't even recognize you, because you'll look like a beast. And he thought it was a joke. And one day the man went crazy. And indeed, he found himself in the wilderness with wild pigs and boars and like just looking crazy. His nails grew so big, his toenails, his fingernails, his hair. It was like he became unrecognizable. He looked just like a wild animal. You're thinking like this was the great Nebuchadnezzar, the great king of the Babylonian people with all this money, all this gold, all this power. And now the man is in the wilderness living like a wild animal. So it's like this life here, nothing is guaranteed. Nothing out here is guaranteed. That's why I say all the and they say oh, be careful the people that you step on to get to the top, because on your way back down you will have to meet these people again. Right? Be very careful. And don't surround yourself with those type of people too, because they'll rub off on you. And they'll teach you to trust your flesh and trust the things that you build with your 10 fingers. But my thing is, you can't put your trust in the stuff that you built, because everything you build can be taken away, washed away, destroyed. Like anything can happen to it. But what you have to trust, what you really have to trust, that's me. What you really, really have to trust in is the power of your soul. That's why you got to spend a lot of time working on your soul. You understand? You have to spend a lot of time working on your soul, working on your inner person. That no matter what happens, whether you are at the very top or you are at the very bottom, you're always going to keep your smile, right? Whether you have or you don't have, you're always going to keep a positive attitude. Whether you are surrounded by a bunch of people or you're just by yourself, you're still going to have a positive attitude, because your soul is so strong. Your soul is so fed that you don't need the masses to feel like, oh yeah, I've arrived. You don't need to have X, Y, and Z to feel like you've arrived, because your soul is fed and you know what truly matters. You know what I'm saying? The biggest gift you could ever give yourself is peace. Peace with the things that you can control, and then peace about the things that you cannot control. Because in that too, there is beauty. right? And then sometimes there are things that will happen to you because I had this moment. I think it was at the gym recently. I was maybe lifting weights or whatever. I was the stairmaster. I can't remember, but something hit me like, Marlene, one thing you went through, because I used to have a hard time dealing with things too, like perspective, because not knowing how to have the right perspective can really mess you up. But I thank God for that though. Worked really hard to acquire the right perspective. But I was in the gym and then something hit me like, what you went through was you experienced life. You've experienced life. Like, this is what life is truly all about. You have experienced life. And it's like, you're not always going to understand everything, right? It will be nice because I do feel like when you go through situations, the things that do make it more bearable or unbearable is not knowing the why. Even this morning, I had this conversation with my spirit person, and I said, you know what? For me, I don't have a hard time with whatever I am supposed to go through. The thing that does make it easier for me is to understand the why. If I know, oh, Marlene, you're going through this because of this, this, and that, it's okay. I can handle that, right? Because if that's my destiny, like if that's my portion, I will take it. But it makes it a lot easier to know the why. When I don't know the why, when I feel like God is not telling me why I'm going through something, that's when the agony gets a bit more intense because then my soul feels turmoil. Like, why is this happening? I need to know the why. If you say, oh, Marlene, like you're going through this so that your soul can be made perfect, that your faith can be made perfect for a later time, cool, no problem, right? Because I have all that I need. But it's like, okay, you've experienced life. And part of experiencing life is that you're not going to understand everything. And maybe we're not supposed to understand everything. I don't know. It would be nice too, though. Like, it really, because it would give you like more clarity. Sometimes you understand stuff like years later, you get like, oh, okay. So this is why this had to happen, right? But nonetheless, everybody here, y'all, we are going to experience life. And no matter how crushing, how defeated you feel, you still have to know. That's why you got to feed your soul. You still have to know that you are of value, right? Spiritual value and secular value are not congruent because what the world values and what is valued in the spiritual realm are two different things, right? So it's like no matter what you go through, no matter how you experience life and how you go through life, right? I want you to know that you are still valuable and you will always continue to be valuable. But part of this human experience involves a lot of pain and it does involve a lot of confusion, right? And so, because of the pain, because who wants to go through pain? Like, who? Like, the fuck? Like, nobody wants pain. It's not a flex, okay? It's not a flex. The unfortunate thing about pain is that it is a requirement for maturity. You can't mature without pain, right? You can't become resilient without pain. You can't become more quiet. Even a lot of times, pain it will make you keep your mouth shut. You know what I mean? Like, this is too much. You know what I'm saying? Because you're like, oh, I feel like every time I tell people what I go through, it gets worse. So sometimes your own pain might make you be quiet. Like, let me keep this to myself. Okay? Let me keep this to myself. Okay? Let me learn to pray for myself. Because I feel as though every time I tell people what I go through, my stuff just gets worse. You understand? So you learn to just be quiet. You learn to pray for yourself. You learn to stand up for yourself in the quietness of your soul. You learn to be patient for yourself. You learn to mind your business. And then it frees you. It really frees you and it releases you from this dependency on other people. You stop being codependent. You know what I mean? Let me tell you, like, before I used to call people like crazy. I used to call people. What do you think of this? What do you think of that? Let's pray about this. Let's pray about that. Did God tell you anything? Well, I tell you now, I don't need to call nobody. I'm like, I'll be okay. I journal. I take time to myself. Like, okay, that's it. I'm good. Right? Because that's what happens. And for that too, I'm grateful. You understand? You lose some, but you gain something else. You lose something in this physical world. You gain something in the spiritual world. You understand? And a lot of people are not going to see value in it, but who cares? They're confused anyways. They're lost. They're blinded, right? But I'm telling you this. You lose something in the physical world. You gain something in the spiritual world. And that is amazing, right? And like part of life, experiencing life, especially if you experience it the right way and you take the right lessons and perspective from it, is that you're going to be closer to your spiritual side. And when you are closer to your spiritual side, you start having more peace about yourself. You start having peace. And I feel like two things out here are really valuable for a human person: peace and love. For real, for real. Knowing true love, knowing unconditional love for self and for one very special person. I think that's beautiful. If you can say, I have lived life and I have loved myself and I have been loved, I think that's beautiful, because it's hard to find honest people to love you, right? I think another thing that's also really beautiful is knowing peace, peace within yourself, peace with things you can't control and with the things that you cannot control. Having peace with that and knowing that, you know what, it's okay. I am still valuable. I am still going to make it. I am still making it, right? I have peace about it. I have peace with the things I can't control, and I have peace with the things I cannot control. That's maturity. You've grown because you've experienced life. And you understand things not going your way does not mean life is over. Maybe it's just getting started, but maybe it's getting started a whole different way, a way that the world has not prepared you for, but your spiritual side and your spiritual angels will guide you for. Like, they'll get you ready for that, right? Embrace your spiritual journey. Don't live for the world. I know it seems very enticing. And not saying that you can't enjoy nice things or have, like, good things, right? But I'm saying let that not be your focus point. Let that not be how you measure everything in this life, especially knowing how much people lie. Because a lot of people lie. A lot of people live a lie. They live to lie. They are living in a lie. They live a lie. They live surrounded by a bunch of lies, because they're so afraid of their own truth. That's what I've come to recognize. A lot of people are afraid of their own truth. They're afraid that maybe I'm not as successful as my parents want me to be, or maybe I'm not as successful as my friends. So what they do out here, they be delulu as hell. And they use social media to fuel their delusion, because people believe in what they see. They believe the pictures, they believe the reels, they believe in the hauls, right? So it's like all this stuff is just pure madness. It is pure madness. You know what I mean? It is madness. So don't use the world and worldly things as a measuring stick for how well you're doing. Look at how you respond to things. Like, look at how you're now reacting to stuff, right? And think about how you used to react years ago or months ago, right? And that's going to tell you how much you've matured and how much you've grown. You know what I'm saying? Amen. But trust yourself. Trust yourself to grow. Trust yourself to be more mature. Trust yourself to be more spiritual. Trust yourself to be more patient. Patient with yourself. Patient with the things you don't understand. Patient with people you don't understand. Because eventually it shall all be revealed to you. It shall all be revealed to you. A lot of people struggle with self-love. A lot of people struggle with self-acceptance. So everywhere they go, they cause this chaos because they need to be, they're fueled by getting any type of attention from other people. So every time they come into other people's lives, they have to be so chaotic. They bring chaotic energy. And at first it's confusing. Like, why does this person act like this? Why are you acting like this, right? Yeah, Jada, yeah. But it's like they're suffering. They are suffering. They are suffering. They need attention. It's a drug for them. Attention is a drug for them. It quiets their soul because they were never raised. They were never brought, or pushed towards having a spiritual connection with God. They replace God with other things: sex, makeup, clothes, all kind of debauchery out here, right? But those things will never fulfill you. They will never fulfill you. A lot of people need to have a higher purpose. A lot of people need to have a higher purpose. And that's why I'm telling you, like, that's why the more mature you get spiritually, you're going to be so turned off by celebrities too. Because you'll see them for what they really are. A bunch of people stuck in their childhood. You know, these people are like there's a lot of them never even went to high school. Many of them never had a proper childhood. You know what I mean? So it's like they're stuck in this weird stage of like, oh, I need attention. I need attention. Because they never have to go to regular school, live a regular life, be regular people, right? Like, y'all need to grow up. Like, but you get older, you become so disenamored with celebrities. Like, you people really have nothing to offer people. You just got lucky. Like, you have a talent. You look okay. You look good, I guess. But because money makes everybody look good. So, you know what I'm saying? But besides that, you really have nothing of substance to offer me. Can you speak intelligently on world matters? No. Can you help with the economy? No. Do you have a non-for-profit? No. Like, what do you really do? Nothing. Just sit there, put makeup on, wear expensive clothes, go to fashion shows. That's it. Is that not a sad life? And that a sad life to have that much influence, and only to relegate your influence to pushing out overly priced luxury items, clothes. Like, that is so sad to me. But as you get older and you start to see like even celebrities are a waste of your fucking time. They're a waste of your love. They're a waste of your time. They're a waste of your admiration because they truly do nothing of substance. You know what I mean? It's a lot better to get to know somebody in your community that volunteers, that has a non-for-profit, and that doesn't even have a lot of money, but that is committed to making the world a better place. And they do so with the little of money or the little resources that they have, and they're truly committed to their cause. To me, that's more admirable. Like you, what do you do? What do you really do? And I'm telling people, like, stop saying all this celebrity stuff because these people they're very silly people. They are very silly people who are really coddled. They are very silly people who never really had to get their shit together because their talent allows them to be like, you know, people treat them like children. People give them everything they want. People coddle them. People clap for them. They write all types of dumb shit. You know what I mean? They act stupid. And they never cease to have an endless supply of obsessed fans. Like, it is very bizarre. You know what I mean? It is very bizarre. But you get older and you start thinking about real problems, like real life type of stuff. And you're like, what does even following this celebrity do for me? It does absolutely nothing for you. You know what I'm saying? It does absolutely nothing for you. So that's really awesome. So think about that. Amen, you guys. So that was my life. It's not going to be too long. But just to encourage you, okay? Just to encourage you. And just to say, you know, they do nothing for people. If anything, they encourage you. They incentivize you to make poor choices. Because what do they represent, right? Greed, capitalism, consumerism. Like what when you really think about it, like what do most celebrities represent? Foolishness. They represent absolute foolishness. You're not gonna get ahead in life listening to a celebrity. Absolutely not. That's why they're famous. Because they're false prophets. They are false prophets. Oh, if you look like me, if you dress like me, if you do your makeup like me, if you think like me. No, that's just false. They're just a bunch of false prophets. They can't do nothing for you. They can't help you with nothing. If you're sick right now, what can a celebrity do for you? You know, if somebody needs a heart transplant, like you can't do nothing for me. If you have to pass your SATs, your GREs, your GMAT, if you need to write an essay for med school, none of these people can help you. They can't even, most of them can't even read. So it's like, what the heck? You know, why am I so invested in people that couldn't even like make it past the 12th grade? Like, make it make sense. You know, what do they have to offer people besides their talent and the fact that they have money? That's it. But it's sad though. Like, I'm like, it's not a sad life when all you have is money. That's all you have is money. All you have to offer people is money. That's it. Nothing else. Like, that's crazy to me. That's really crazy to me. You know what I mean? They can't even say a prayer for their fans. Many of them cuss out their fans, like Doja Cat. Cuss out those people, insult the people, disrespect the people. You know, they raise the prices of their concert tickets. Like, they take advantage of these people. They take advantage of them. $10,000, $6,000 for a ticket to go see them sing. For what? For what? What's so special about your music? Like, what the heck? Girl, if you don't move out of my face with this foolishness, right? Like, it's pure madness. It's pure madness. I'm like, the older you get, the more spiritual you get, You start to recognize like a lot of these celebrities are false prophets. There are so many false prophets out here. They are false prophets. And many of them, the reason why they're so successful is because they are meant to have these huge platforms to lead people into the wrong direction. They are meant to lead you astray. They have nothing good to offer you. You know, they have absolutely nothing good to offer you. So don't look at these people like, oh, that's the definition of success. It ain't definition of shit. Okay, they don't define shit. Okay, that's not how you're successful. And that's why when the older they get, the more we see them fall apart. The majority of these celebrities always fall apart. They fall apart. They fall apart. It's like, oh my gosh, like what is this? It's sad. You know what I mean? They have nothing to offer people. They really have nothing to offer you. And the fact is, sometimes many of their fans in the long game, many of their so-called fans who never seen that type of money, never seen that type of exposure, many of their fans will be way more successful than them. They're going to have beautiful families. They're going to get married. They're going to have all their kids by the same person. They're going to be married for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. They're going to have great-grandchildren. They're going to go on vacation with their families. They're going to know what it is to be loved by a person. They're going to have family reunion. They're not going to have no drama. They're not going to be in the rehab. None of that kind of stuff, right? Look at Wendy Williams, right? So obsessed with her job, her career, my career. It's like, girl, bye. You talk about people. Like, girl, breathe. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, chill. Okay? It's not like you're out here on a world mission to feed the poor. You talk about people. But when you're hurt, you hurt other people. And when you live in, when you constantly live in your pain, you are extremely delusional to feel as if the world needed your filth. And you see, look at Wendy Williams. Look how her life ended. You know what I'm saying? It's sad. You did all of this harm, all this damage. You were obsessed with your career. Look how you ended. Passing out on the show, your feet are swollen, your husband out here cheating, having kids with people, you divorcing your husband, your mother dies, you don't go to the funeral, you meet up with Kelvin, you smashing Kelvin, and you get so high, you don't go to your mother's burial the next day, like your son hates you, like, girl, no ma'am. Like, there's no way you look at Wendy Williams and you say to yourself, like, wow, I can't wait to be like her. Because look how she ended up. What's the point of starting so great just to end up like this? It is sad. It is so sad. Like, it is so sad. Like, this is a sad life. Wendy could die in her apartment one day, and she'll just die by herself, all alone. That is so sad. Imagine having all this money. And look at Nene. Y'all saw Nene? Did y'all see Nene? Maybe tomorrow I'll go live so we can watch the videos on TikTok. Nene's out here crying on TikTok, y'all. It is sad. Nene is crying all over TikTok that she's lonely. Maybe she should just go ahead and get in a relationship because she don't want to die alone. I said, what happened to being a boss bitch, right? All that shit is fake. It's these fake ass, tough ass personas. Nene was having a full meltdown on TikTok because she fears being alone. She fears dying by herself. But I'm like, that's most likely what's going to happen. You know what I mean? When Uncle Greg was dying, were you nice to him? No, you were not. Okay, you were in a rush for him to die. When Uncle Greg, you see, and that's the thing though too, Kevin. And that's the thing. When people see somebody go be sick, when people see somebody losing stuff, when people see somebody going through it, they think it'll never be them. They're actually so annoyed, like, oh my gosh, like what? And that's the same thing with the story of Lot. Like, his friends were so annoyed, like, what? You must have done something. You must have. Shut up, okay? When Uncle Greg was sick and he had cancer, first of all, she was trying to divorce him. It's just that once he had cancer, she couldn't do it because she knew the fans were going to be utterly disgusted, right? So she stayed with him through the cancer because she didn't want to be like a real witch, you know? But the whole time when he was sick, she couldn't stand having to drop him off. She could not stand having to pick him off. And because of the chemo, he started having a smell. You know, chemotherapy, because it's like nuclear energy they put through your body, like chemotherapy starts to make people have a certain smell to them. She could not stand his smell. And on top of that, because of the chemo, you know, his penis was not working. So they could also have sex. But the whole time he was having the cancer, when he was in the hospital for cancer, she was smashing Yoni. She was sleeping with Yoni out here in D.C. Because everybody saw her out here in D.C., right, messing with Yoni. And Yoni happens to also be a married man. Now I'm saying, like, Uncle Greg, he already had cancer. You know he's gonna die from the cancer. You truly can't wait. You really cannot be inconvenienced for a few months. You really cannot go touch yourself a little bit and wait until he dies and he's buried to start your relationship with Yoni and to start sleeping with him. You know what I mean? The man is in the hospital and you out here smashing another dude. And on top of that, the man is married. Like all types of foul behavior. All types of foul behavior. Because she never saw herself not being on the show. She never thought Andy would fire her. She never thought she would be in a position where she's not making millions of dollars, right? Because she's so arrogant. And that's why I say you don't know how you're going to go out. Like nobody knows how they're going to go out. Like even tomorrow, we could wake up and Diddy's in prison for having something to do with Tupac being deleted. You understand? That's the thing about this karma shit. You never know when that motherfucker gonna come knock at your door. You never know. And a lot of the times when karma comes to get you is when you are at your highest. Like your chest is so out there, you really think like you're like Superman times like titanium. I don't know, right? But the way she treated him during his illness, it was utterly disgusting. I'm like, even if you're no longer in love with him, what he did for you, what Uncle Greg did for you, the fact that he snatched you out the strip club, the fact that he invested in your dreams ever since you wanted to be an actress. She went to Hollywood. He paid for it. She came back to Atlanta. She did the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Uncle Greg, at that time, he was doing real estate. He put $300,000 into that show. He did so much for you. Even people being nice to her, people used to overlook her bullshit because they've been trying to fire her. But because they like Greg so much, they're like, oh, because of Greg, because Uncle Greg, let that shit slide. Let that shit slide. Because a lot of people don't like her, but they loved her husband. You know, and for Uncle Greg to be at his final days and for you to treat him like this, like he was a weight, like he was, I could never imagine somebody having cancer and then I treat the person like they're a burden. Nobody signs up for cancer. You know what I mean? It is what it is, the lottery. And some people are really unfortunate when it comes to the cancer lottery. It takes you and it takes you. But anybody can have cancer, you know? And it's hard for the people that have cancer to hear that they have cancer, to hear that the body is attacking itself, that you have to go through chemo. Chemo is very painful. Chemotherapy will make you sick. It's like, it's the worst type. Me, honestly, I wouldn't even do it. It is the worst type of medication. It is nuclear energy going through your body. Like, this is ridiculous. This is just too much for me. It changes you. You start to have weird smells about yourself. Like you lose your hair. You become incredibly weak. You can't do anything. Your body becomes emaciated. You're losing all this muscle. You're losing all this, like, you're just like melting away. Right? And your wife living in a 10,000 square feet home, driving a $500,000 car, and acting like it's just way too much for her to give you 3 to 4 months as you depart this earth. I thought that was very diabolical, right? So now she gets to feel what it's like. She gets to feel that loneliness. She gets to feel that root, like all that stuff is coming back to her. And she don't know how to deal with it because it's mental oppression, it's spiritual oppression, it is karma. You can't escape it. You will suffer through it. And so now she sits on TikTok and she cries about how she don't want to be lonely, but you will be lonely. That is your punishment. That is your punishment. Because you had a partner. And on his dying days, how did you treat him? You gonna get out of this life exactly what you put in it. Okay? You gonna get out of this life exactly what you put into people. If you are the type of person to sow scorn, discord, corruption, chaos, you will reap those things because that's what you sow. If you sow love, patience, tenderness, what they call the fruit of the spirit, right? You're going to reap that too. Now, I don't care how long it takes. You reap whatever you sow. But like you, my friend, Nene Leaks, you don't deserve loving, sweet, tender partnership because you were never that type of partner yourself. You understand? And people, you thinking because you're Nene Leaks, yeah, you might be good for TV, but you're not good for a relationship. And what kind of man, what kind of stable-minded human being is going to want to be in a romantic alliance with a woman that only thinks about herself, talks to people crazy? Letitia, she was with him the whole time because she opened a store here. She opened a store here in DC, like the little island, but what it's called? It's some little island between Maryland and DC. She had a store there, right? And she was smashing Yoni. And Yoni's married with kids. You understand? Hey, Osama, what's up? You know what I'm saying? She was smashing the homie. And I'm like, you really can't wait for your husband to die before you start smashing the homie? So their relationship, her relationship with Yoni, how can it be blessed? You don't improvise a blessing. And even Yoni himself, he's a despicable man. Even if Uncle Greg said, okay, you can smash her because I'm about to die and then my wee wee is not working anymore. Even if he said that, you as a man, think about it. One day you also might have cancer, right? You also might have cancer. We don't know. You might be in a position where you're really, really sick too. And even if, just because somebody says you can, does that mean you should? If a man's on his dying bed and he has a horny wife who don't want to be a good woman, and he said, okay, fine, you can smash her, should you actually do it? Should you do it? Y'all really cannot wait 4 months. He's almost dead. You really can't wait? Uncle Greg, he died. The same night he died, she was at the club with Yoni. And you really think you're going to be okay? You really think on God's earth, like you really think on this earth, you're going to have peace? You really think you're going to find love and go happily into the sunset? Nobody gets away with anything. What you do to other people, you're going to reap. How you treat other people, you might not even believe it, but it's a reflection of how you will treat yourself eventually. What you do to others will become your own portion. I said, be careful how you treat people, man. However, you can do whatever you want, but be mindful. It's going to come back to you. That same energy will come back to you. But a relationship that starts with evil intention, that starts with people cheating, hiding, taking advantage of an old dying man of cancer, right? How can such a relationship be blessed? How can it prosper? How can it go anywhere? And the same thing will happen to Portia and Simon, because their relationship is cursed as well. They are cursed. And they will have to answer for that. Like, what? You can lie to yourself. You can do all these things. You can post. I'm telling you, karma, she always spins the block. That's why when you do stuff, do things righteously. Even if it's not the easiest thing, even if it's not the most straightforward thing, even if it takes long, do it correctly, because there's always somebody watching you. Y'all, I swear, like, I don't even know how people are not scared of their own shadow. You have a thing that follows you everywhere you go. You're not scared. What if on Judgment Day, your shadow separates itself from you and then starts telling all your business? What you gonna do? God has cursed us with a shadow. God has cursed us with a witness. Everywhere you go, your shadow follows you. Everything you do, your shadow does what you grab a knife to stab somebody, your shadow also grabs a knife to go stab somebody's shadow. Look at that. Your shadow bears witness of everything you do every day, every second, every minute. You hide food, whatever you do, your shadow replicates your behavior. That to me is really frightening. Sometimes I like, damn, like this thing is crazy. But it bears witness of what you've done. It bears witness of who you are. It bears witness of where you've been. Your shadow's with you all the time. You understand? So you gotta be very careful. Do things the right way. If you're gonna start a relationship with somebody, start the relationship the right way. You're gonna be with somebody, do it the right way. Because that will determine whether this union right here is going to be blessed or it's going to be cursed. There's another thing I was watching too when I was cheating on y'all. There's another show I was watching on Netflix, but that one is it's in Spanish and it's in Mexico, right? It's about some influencer chick. But like 4 teenage girls, they were in high school. They went to boarding school. One of them gets pregnant. These heifers decide to have the baby and to leave the baby in the forest. Right? Because there's a lady who works at the school, a poor lady who works at the school. They left the baby in the lady's little hut somewhere. You know? That child grew up and she came to look for them and it was not pretty. And like there are 4 friends. It's like Fernanda, Sophia, Martina, and Irene, right? Well, when they were young girls, Martina had a boyfriend. I think it was like Hugo or Diego. No, Diego, right? Martina was going out with Diego. They went to a fair. They smashed. So then they got into a fight. After smashing, they got into a fight. So Diego gets out the car. He meets Fernanda. Fernanda lies to him. She says, oh, but she's supposed to be Martina's best friend. So she tells Diego, oh, behind your back, Martina hooking up with other guys. Martina lies to you. All that was fake because she was in love with her best friend's man. So Fernanda and Diego hooked up. So then Diego breaks up with Martina and he goes with her best friend, Fernanda, right? And for years, like decades, Fernanda knew that she lied to get that man. And it's going to show up in their marriage. It took like 20 something years, but it sure did show up because she got that man on false pretense. She lied. She lied. So now every time she sees her best friend with that man, she's scared because she don't know, because she lied, because you took something that didn't belong to you. And these two had a real chemistry, and they still have a real chemistry. So now every time you see the girl with the man, with your husband, you think like, is she smashing my husband? Why? Because your conscience won't let you be free because you lie to get something that didn't belong to you. And now here you are. She's a whole alcoholic. You know, lying, deceit, doing all kinds of weird things. When I tell you, it will afflict your mind. Karma is real. And the movie I told you guys about, The House of Usher, Karma, her name is, she's a white woman named Verna. And she is ruthless. Like, she's so ruthless. And it really makes you think, like, sometimes when people do the things they do, I don't really think they truly understand the gravity of what they're doing. I don't really think they understand the gravity of the situation. You know what I mean? Like, there's a guy in there, he's going to abuse his wife. And she was there looking at him. You guys, she was looking at him abusing his wife. So what he did to his wife, she did the same thing to him. She was like, you know, I would have taken you out a nicer way, like in your car. She said, I would have taken you out in your car. I could have taken you out in your bed. But once you took the pliers and you did what you did to her, nah, I knew I had to do the same thing to you. You know, and I'm like, it seems like a really silly little series on Netflix for Halloween. But for me, honestly, it made me cry. Like, wow, like we really have to be careful. We have to be careful. Even in moments of anger, even righteous anger, like even when you're mad, you're really angry and you feel like you're justified to be angry, you still need to be careful what you do. And you still need to be careful what you say because those things could activate something coming right back at you. Then you're like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. But you have to watch, like, when we're done with this, you have to go on Netflix and you have to watch The House of Usher. You have to watch that. Like, it is absolutely crazy. But it seems so small. Like something it starts this whole chain of people dying everywhere. It started off so small. These people just wanted to be rich. They grew up really poor. Their daddy didn't want them. They just wanted to be really rich people. They wanted to be rich. They wanted to be respected. They wanted to feel seen. They wanted to be important. So when they make that transaction with this person, they're not thinking much about it. You know what I mean? Because when you're young and you say, okay, I'll do whatever it takes to be rich. And the person says, okay, but your kids, you know, okay, yeah, sure, F them kids, right? Because you don't know these kids. It's easy to sacrifice people you never met. But then once these kids are born, and even your grandkids, you're like, huh? I said what? I did what? You're not aware of the gravity of what you sacrificed, right? Because when you did it, you didn't have kids like that. You didn't even think about, I'm going to be a grandparent one day. You're not thinking about this stuff, right? But then you do become a father. You do become a mother. You do become a grandparent. And now these people mean something to you. They're not just my seed or one day I'll have grandkids. Like, these are real people that you have a real relationship with. But unfortunately, you made a pact and you have to honor it. Because when you signed it, Karma, Verna, whatever her name is, she gave you what you wanted. So now it's time for you to give her what she wants. And you can't renegotiate. You can't, there's no way out of this. And it's like, oh, crap. And it really makes you think, like, be careful what you wish for. Be very careful what you wish for. Because once you get it, it might bring the worst type. Because at first you're happy. You're like, you're on, you know, you're winning. You're successful. But then once it's time for you to go down, like that nosedive is frightening. Like even those people, like they're so wicked. But when Verna shows up, you start to feel bad for them because she's so ruthless. You're like, my God, my goodness. And you see it too. Like you see it a lot of successful families. Like stuff out there just be treacherous. Siblings hate each other. They poison each other. They want to destroy each other, delete each other. You got kids who unalive their parents for a will, you know? And then, like, look at the Kennedys, right? Everybody in the Kennedy family dies in a weird way. It's like, but damn, like, the great granddad, like, what did he do to get so rich? 3 of your sons shot up. 1 of your grandkids died in a plane crash. Like, that family is like, low key, the Kennedys are like cursed. It's like bad things happen to these people. You know, look at the one, Priscilla Schreier, who was married to Arnold Schwarzenegger. He smashed the maid in the house. The maid was smashed up, pregnant. She even brought the baby to the house. And Priscilla didn't even realize that the baby looked like her husband. I said, but damn, what kind of bloodline is this? Right? What kind of bloodline is this? Look at Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton. Right? Look, every time the scandals that fall on these people, even Donald Trump. But you ask yourself, like the Clintons, like what kind of deal did y'all make? Like what's happening? Trump and his daddy who never paid taxes, Frederick Trump, that's his name, Frederick Trump, right? Him also. You're like, what kind of deal did this man make to be so rich? You know what I'm saying? But it's like you look at most powerful families, their family drama is so scandalous. It's so treacherous. Bernard Madoff, all the money he stole, he was in prison. His son died of cancer. He couldn't even be there. His son died. His wife died. Like everybody was dying around him when he was locked up, and there was nothing he could do about it. You're like, what the heck? You know what I mean? Look at Joe Biden. His wife and his daughter died in a car accident, right? Then Brody dies too. Brody is dead. Then you got Hunter over here. He been a crackhead. He can't stop this boy from being a crackhead. That boy brings him so much shame. It's embarrassing. Then you got Hunter out here. He's smashing Brody's wife. I'm like, your brother's dead and you smashing his wife? Are you sick? What kind of sick dog is this? When his wife, when Hunter's wife found out he was smashing his sister-in-law, she was so disgusted. The girl couldn't believe that stuff. Like, who does this? Your brother is dead and you're turned on by his wife? So that means you were smashing the wife when Brody was alive? You know what I'm saying? Like, look at Joe Biden. You ask yourself, like, what did this man do? What kind of sacrifice did Joe Biden make to be successful? Why is his family so disgusting like this? Why do people keep dying around him like this? The same thing with Puffy. Anybody gets close to Puffy, you either die or you go to prison. You're either going to end up dead or you go to prison. Everything about this man involves people dying. People just die around him. They just die. They die. They just die off around him. So his karma is so bad. His energy is so bad. I feel bad for his children, y'all. I feel bad for his children. But it's like you see it all around you. And it's like, what is wrong with these people? What did you do? What did you sign? What did you get into to be this successful? Right? And it's sad. And it's sad. And it's a whole lot more people, but I can't think of them off the top of my head right now. Right? Whitney Houston, what did she do to be successful too? Only God knows. Only God knows. When she signed with Clive Davis, what else did she sign to? You die in a bathtub. A year later, your daughter also dies in a bathtub. Like, what is going on here? What is going on here? What in the freak is going on here? That is weird. That is just too weird. That is not random. Your daughter dies just like you a year from your death. She is in a bathtub with drugs just like you. Like, what? No. You guys, it's all over the place. It's all over the place. You see it with so many wealthy people. You see it with so many successful people. The scandals, the trauma, their children, their reputation, like the stuff that happens to them. It's all over the place. And it makes you really think, like, what did these people do to be so rich? What did they do? Who seduced them? What were they seduced by? What spirits walks with them? Right? You have Drake out here with his weird owl. He has an owl everywhere he goes. He has this weird porn, sex addiction, sex worker addiction. You think that's random? That's not random. That's part of his covenant. That's part of his covenant. The majority of these people have a covenant. That's why I keep telling y'all. These people are not random. They're not they're not random just because, or because they're so great, because they're so, oh, shut up. You know dang well what covenant you signed. Drake puts an owl on everything. That's a spirit animal. And that dirty sex addiction that those people gave him, them entities gave him, that's his downfall. That's his downfall. And they use that to control him. That's his thing. That's the doorway. Like, that's their doorway to him. And that's how you know. Every time you have an entity that gives you power, right? They always put some type of vice on you. They always put some type of sin on you, and that's how they control you. Like, that's the gateway to you. That's the door to you. And that door is always open. You can never be satisfied. Like, for Drake has a problem with sex. He has a problem with it. And it's like, it's not something he can cure, because that's the curse. When they give you something, they curse you with something too. You know what I mean? You're cursed with something too. It's like, it never fails. Because, like, for example, if you read the Bible, if you care to read the Bible, but the Bible says that the gifts of the Lord, they're not followed by sorrow. But these celebrities, they're so famous, they're so rich, but they're always troubled. Like, why does your money, why does your success bring you so much pain? Why does your success bring you so much instability? Why does your success bring you so much madness? You know what I'm saying? Even Britney Spears. And you know, she's from Louisiana, so, you know, I know her ancestors, the Cajun people down there, touch some things, okay? But even Britney Spears, her madness, her cuckoo-ness, I don't think it's random too. I think it's a curse. I really think that lady is cursed. I think she's cursed because of her bloodline. You know what I'm saying? I think she's cursed. And I think them people intentionally made her famous just so they could make her crazy publicly. I think sometimes the devil does that too. The devil makes you really famous so you can have a huge platform, and then he's going to make fun of you in front of millions of people. It's like he props you up just so he can destroy you publicly, right? But I'm like, that girl too, I don't think her cuckoo-ness, I don't think her insanity is random. I think it's a curse. I think it's a curse. I think it's some serious root. It's some root work that was done on that girl, because her behavior is not normal. And given that she's a white woman from Louisiana, so you know these people have touched some things, okay? Yeah, it's not normal. It is not normal, right? But that's what it is. They've all done things. They're not going to tell you what they've done. But open your eyes and you'll see, because the more success they have, the more trouble they become. The more success they have, the more drugs they take. The more success they have, the more they become mentally unstable. You know what I mean? Because they make deals. They make these deals. I don't know if they see Satan himself. I don't know what they see. But I know they have these conversations with themselves, and they say certain things to themselves, and it activates the contract. Because there's no way. Why are you so troubled? Why are you people so troubled? Even Jada and Will Smith, they know what contract they signed. That's why they really can't get a divorce. They know what it truly is. They can try to finesse it. It's like, oh, we really want to work. No. They know what body they buried together. Because these people, all these black people in Hollywood, they all have Quincy Jones in common. They all have Quincy Jones in common. So I'm like, go sit down somewhere. You know dang well which body y'all buried together. You know what blood covenant y'all made. And you know what will happen if you fracture that blood covenant. That's what you're really scared of. Because remember, when Will Smith started getting bigger and bigger, he started messing with Tom Cruise. Remember? And Tom Cruise is part of that church, the Church of Scientology, right? And if you remember that Italian white woman that used to have that show on TV, the nighttime show, she exposed them. And Tom Cruise was one of the people to persecute the lady. I forgot her name. She's like a redhead like that. But I know that Tom Cruise started introducing Will Smith to the Church of Scientology. And I do believe that Will Smith and Jada and them are part of the Church of Scientology. Okay? So they know what they've done. They know what they've signed. They know what they pledge allegiance to. They know what covenant they're part of, and they know the consequences of those covenant. And it could be if one of y'all breaks this covenant, somebody gonna get deleted, and most likely it won't be them. It probably will be Willow, or it'll be Jaden, or it'll be both Willow and Jaden. I really think it's that type of stuff. I think the reason why they cannot separate or whatever it is, because one of the children will be deleted. If not all the children will be deleted. And since none of them want to lose their kids, they're doing this little farcery in front of people over here. Go somewhere. They're a part of Scientology. Yeah. Because when he started doing, I think it was Independence Day. I think around Independence Day, around that time, Will wanted to be paid like Tom Cruise, because Tom Cruise, he doesn't just get paid on the tickets, he also gets paid on the back end. Like, he makes a lot of money. Tom Cruise, he is like really, really smart, this type of stuff. They pay him his salary, then they pay him like backdoor, whatever it's called. So he started showing that to Will Smith, so Will Smith could do it for Independence Day. Well, Will Smith is not innocent. Just because Jada talks a whole lot does not mean that Will Smith is innocent. Will Smith has signed covenants in Hollywood. Will Smith has exposed his family to some dangerous people in Hollywood. Okay? And now he's trying to act like, oh, I'm going to let Jada be. I'm gonna go talk to the Buddhist. Shut up. He's just as involved, because at the end of the day, he's the man of the household. At the end of the day, that's his house. At the end of the day, that's his wife. So all this madness going on too is not just on Jada. Look at him sideways also, because he could be another Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is mean as fuck. Tom Cruise is mean as hell. And that's why that girl Katie was so scared to come out and say that she was dating Jamie Foxx, because Tom Cruise is a bully. He even bullied the tall one, the wife from the Australia, Nicole Kidman. He was so mean to Nicole, she ran for her life. Okay, then the other white girl from Dawson Creek, he was so mean to her too. She ran for her life too. But for her to even be able to leave him, she had to like not cause drama, not be seen. Tom Cruise is a dangerous short person. Okay, that little midget. Okay, so he started learning things from Tom Cruise, so that I think it was American the Independence Day, he could get like a huge payout from an Independence Day. That's why Will Smith's so rich, because he gets paid like Tom Cruise when it comes to like his Hollywood movies. You understand, right? And you think about his rise to power from a little rapper in Philadelphia, from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, being a silly actor, to having some of the serious roles you've ever seen a black man have in Hollywood. You think that stuff is random? Just like Michael B. Jordan, you think his success is random? He out here, he's directing movies. You think that is random? Girl, please. Please, at your young age, you directed movies before Denzel Washington. When Denzel was your age, he was not getting himself opportunities. But one thing we know about Denzel Washington, because he was raised by a pastor, because he don't play about Jesus. Okay, because him and his wife, they're not in a rush to be famous. That's why they're still married, because they know who they are, and they know how they were raised, and they know what they believe in. Okay, that's why certain things for Denzel Washington as fast as they could have happened. But when you look at Michael B. Jordan, right, and the stuff they're giving him, the stuff they're putting up for him, it is not random, sis. It is not random. He know what he's doing too. He know what he's doing. He know what he's doing. And right now they're gonna let him be successful. But one day these people gonna spin the block, because they always spin the block. But once you sign with these people, you never have your freedom back. You will never be free. And I really do feel like the reason why Will and Jada cannot separate, because whatever this covenant is, it probably involves their children. They can't tell you that, but it probably involves their children. And if these people try something funny, one of these kids will be deleted. Tell that. Go somewhere. Hey, Bruno. Exactly. He's out here directing movies. Like, you don't think we see this stuff? We see it exactly for what it is. Hollywood is a sect. These people are terrorists, okay? These people are diabolical. These people are demonic. These people, part of to be in that clique of people, you have to be with a deceiver. You have to have a deceitful spirit. Anything that involves media, entertainment, music, if you want to be successful, You have to have a spirit of deception in you. You have to be someone who wants to deceive humanity. Because the majority of celebrities, if you notice carefully, are narcissists. Okay, the most of them are sociopaths. They are narcissists. They truly enjoy manipulation. They enjoy blackmailing their people. They're constantly starving for attention. You know, celebrities are sick people. They are really sick. It's not normal for a person to want and need that much attention. Okay? But they always want to be seen. They always want attention. They have a deceitful spirit in them. And who is known to deceive? The devil. Okay? So anybody who engages in an industry that's all about deception, lies, pretending to be somebody that you're not, selling fairy tales to people, selling chaos to people, selling confusion to people, we already know you're different. You are very, very different. Okay? You are seriously different. So when that is your industry, we already know that spirit of deception is already in you. That's why you want to work with people who pretend to be something they're not. And they want more and more success. They want more and more fame. They will go and date people they're not even attracted to so they can sell movies, right? They will go find themselves in a relationship just so they can clean up their PR image. Like, are you people sane? Are you sane? Right? They lie about everything. They never know when to turn it off. Like, they're constantly acting. They're constantly a persona. They are constantly a character, right? Everything is about PR, controlling your image, being seen, being put in this type of light. That is a spirit of deception, right? But that's how the world works. You have to deceive people. The more you play a part in deceiving people, manipulating people, sending people astray, the more success you'll have on this earth. Okay? Exactly. Right? They are sick. They are truly sick. They're not healthy people. Especially even child stars. People who grew up and they were children and they were in the spotlights and they were children. They're going to grow up to be effed up adults. Because they don't know how to live without entertaining, right? And being praised all the time, right? These people are psychopaths. They are psychos. They are psychos. They have a constant need to be adored. So it's like, yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So when that's already your mindset and you part of that industry, because Hollywood is all like, Hollywood is very diabolical. It's very demonic. It's about control. It's about population control. It's about mind control. It's about narratives. Okay, it's a very demonic entity. So if you're part of that, you already have the spirit of deception in you. You want to deceive people. You are about deception. You are about the art of deception. That's how you make your brand. That's how you build your brand. It's deceiving people. Like, who are you really? Only God knows. Only God knows, right? So I'm like, yeah, I'll look at you sideways. So if you're not willingly, if you're not excited, if you're not like, oh yeah, I want to deceive people, you're not gonna make it. And if you notice too, even in the real world, like the everyday world, people are attracted to liars. People love liars, especially women. But people love to be lied to. People love to be seduced. People love compliments. People love to be lied to. Like, the more you lie to people, the more they'll like you, right? The more you deceive people, the more you say things that people want to hear, right? People will like you. So, like, this world we live in is built for, it's conducive to dishonest people, right? It rewards dishonest people. Yeah, people love liars. People love people who lie to them. You want to have a lot of friends? Be the best liar you could ever be. Then you'll have so many friends because people want to be lied to. You know what I mean? And that's how successful people become successful, because they cater to the need that people have of being lied to. They tell people exactly what they want to hear. And when you tell people what they want to hear, they will support whatever you do. They will buy whatever you sell them because you are satisfying a need that they have to be lied to. People want to be lied to. You understand? And the more you lie to them, the more they think, oh my gosh, you're so supportive. You're such a real friend. You really have my back. You're so understanding, right? People want to be lied to. So Hollywood, it really satisfies that need. Like, it quenches that need that people have to be lied to and to have people they can look up to that are some of the best liars they've ever met. right? These actors, these A-list people are some of the best liars you've ever met. And they can even make you feel like, oh, you're a friend, you're a fan, you matter to me. We're doing this movie together. I'm doing this movie because of you, right? That's how it goes out here. And you even see YouTubers do that the same stuff. Oh, I'm doing this for y'all. I'm starting this business for y'all. I'm doing this for y'all, right? And people buy into that because people want to be lied to. And it goes back to the whole thing I said again about we are surrounded by deceptive spirits, right? The world is, I really feel like the world is full of deceptive spirits. And so the more you lie, these deceptive spirits are more likely to bless you, because I really believe, like, if we talk about, material things as a blessing, I don't think God is only God that can give you things. I think the devil can give you things also. If ain't I think the devil is more likely to give you material possession than God. I think if you believe in that dichotomy, I think God is more likely to give you fruits of like gifts that bless your spirit. Most of them are intangible: maturity, patience, kindness, love, chill, calm down, right? Those type of stuff. The devil, he gonna give you a car, he's gonna give you fame, he's gonna give you a bunch of money, he gonna give you nice clothes, etc., etc. So I feel like the devil blesses people with material success more so than God. Because why? The devil knows you can't take it with you. You see, that's why he's does to me, when I really think about it, the devil is probably the greatest scam artist, the smartest scam artist I know. Because you think about this, right? Imagine how smart, and like, it's so simple, but it's just so smart, right? You convince people to do anything for material possession. But it's like ultimately they're going to die. And ultimately they can't take it with them, right? So I'm going to give you something, but honestly, it's on a lease. Because I know you're going to die. And once you die, I'll just take it and go seduce somebody with the same thing. I don't even have to create more stuff. I just have to keep waiting for you heifers to die, because the way you're living and the way you allow me to use you, you're going to die off pretty fast. Then I just take the same stuff and offer the same stuff to somebody else, right? Oh, that's really smart. So the devil, he offers you material stuff that you can never take with you, right? In exchange, you give him your soul, which is what you actually have to take with you. Ding, 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 ding. That's a smart mofo right there, right? Hear it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that to me is really, really smart. And people keep going into the transaction. People keep signing that contract. And I'm like, do you not understand he's playing you? Because he's giving you something that you can't take with you. People will build these big houses, 20,000, like Beyonce lives in a $200 million house. But you really think about it, it's like, girl, that's so damn silly. But he got you though, right? And then now, because you want to live in a $200 million house, you have to go all around the world, dance all day, not spend time with your kids. You're dancing on a bad knee. Like, you did all of this just because you could go pay for a house? It is so silly. And the thing about it is, if your house is $200 million, right, you're only going to occupy but a certain part of the house, because that is just too much house. Nobody's going to be walking to the house all day. You will be drained. It might even take you 24 hours to walk to the house. You will never fully enjoy the house, right? But just this need to make other people feel like you're just as successful as Taylor Swift is going to ruin your joy, right? Because what is it about a $200 million house that you can't do in a $50 million house? I am really confused. I am really confused. You're not even going to enjoy this house. But look at how much stress it was to get this house. Look how much work you had to do to get this house. Huh? That's insane. But you see how he plays people? You see how the devil gets people to torment themselves? And then every time you're doing this tour, Taylor Swift just be whooping she just crushes your numbers. She crushes your numbers. Right? You launch a movie, now she's launching a movie. She's about to crush your numbers. You might not even release the movie. You understand? And you see, that's how he is. He will always give you like this fake nemesis that always like surpasses you. So you keep pushing yourself and pushing yourself and pushing yourself. As opposed to say, you know what? I withdraw. I'm tired. I've done enough. I've achieved enough. Now it's time for me to enjoy my kids. But he's playing you because you are moving with ego. And when you lead with ego, you will be abused, traumatized, busted. I don't know, But I'm like, to me, that's just ridiculous. That's ridiculous, but I get it. When you live for the world, when you measure yourself through how the world sees you, there's always this like unsatiable desire for more and more and bigger and bigger and more and more. And it's like, and that's the curse of most people who move with greed, right? When you're not trying to build your wealth with a real purpose that doesn't revolve around you, and you're only trying to build your wealth off of greed, you will never be satisfied, and you want more and more and more and more and more and more. And it's like, by the time you're done doing this, you won't even have time to enjoy all the things you've built, because you're always looking for something else. There's a bigger problem here, y'all. It's a bigger problem, right? You got to learn to have peace within yourself. You got to learn to have peace within yourself. Not everything is worth it. There comes a time you're like, yo, let me go enjoy my babies. Like, let me go enjoy my life. Let me go have a break. But you can't do that when you lead with ego. And a lot of people need to check their egos, because that right there is how the devil's going to continue to have a leash around your neck. Because if you want surrender, if you want to surrender your ego, you're going to find yourself in a heap of trouble, because it's a lot. It's a lot. But that's how he gets people. And every day, millions of people sign a new contract with him. Every day, millions and millions of people sign a contract with this dude. Okay, you gonna give me a house, give me a car? Sure, I'll do whatever you say. Do whatever you say. And the whole time, you're trading your soul for things. And even when you have those things, you will not even have happiness. You won't even have pleasure. Because for those things, he will torture you. He will torture you. Imagine being Will Smith. You're so rich. And then your 15-year-old son comes to you and says he wants to be emancipated. He doesn't want to live with you. You got such a big old house, and your son does not feel comfortable in such a big ass house. That is fucked up. That's really fucked up. But all right, my peeps, she's getting tired. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. Bottom line of the conversation is, be happy with what you got. Be grateful for what you have. Thank God for what you have. Ask God to show you all your weaknesses, your ego, your whatever. Work on it, that you might not open doors to the enemy. Okay? Don't envy these celebrities. They're all cuckoo in the head. They are a bunch of cuckoo people who need a lot of love, and they need a hug. Okay? And they need to know God is real. Okay? Seek him while there's still time. Okay? Go find God while there's still time. And then check out the movie. Check out the series on Netflix, The House of Usher. Maybe this weekend we can talk about it. All right. So with that being said, people, love y'all very, very much. Sorry I've been gone. I was struggling. But yeah. Hope you enjoyed this little radio show. And I'll talk to you guys later. Love y'all, peoples. Love y'all. Love y'all. Gotta go. She's tired.